Hello and welcome to the 4Corners podcast. I'm Brad, joined as always by Matt and Shad. Gentlemen, how are you doing this evening?
I do good.
It,
All things
it's been a
considered.
week and it's just Tuesday.
Yeah, we were just discussing before we got on the air that wrestling has been really dry for news, and I can't think of a time when we've been in such a dry spell for much of anything.
It's there's not been a lot of
Drama.
juice to the squeeze lately for stuff. So now I will say that um, they're doing a 2.5 hour Dynamite from Daly's Place right now, which is just delivered repeatedly. But I mean, other than in-ring product, it's not like there's any goofy, weird, whatever stuff going down.
Well, Andrade showed
And
back up in AEW, which I think we had talked about didn't really surprise any of
oh,
us.
I guess it didn't surprise me, but I guess it was surprising in that it he like just got his release or fire or whatever. Like he just got it like a week ago, maybe a couple weeks ago,
Hmm.
and people are like, well, I don't. I guess some people were like, oh, he could turn back up, but I don't know there was like a for sure thing. But then he showed up.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, I guess I was not surprised that he showed up, but I guess a little surprised that he showed up as quickly as he did, because I would have thought like, oh, maybe he's gonna like bum around, like CMLL or do some spots like for like a couple months, and then maybe like if he shows up again. But
Hmm.
he showed up immediately, and I guess Dave Meltzer had like a
I don't
meltdown
understand.
afterwards.
I don't under
A Meltzer down.
I don't get the meltdown because like I said, okay. So I don't think Andrade is like a needle mover. He wouldn't even be like my first choice for a guy to sign, but like he did business on the way out. It seems like they ended on really amicable terms. The only story that really came out about him that we know about was he and Sammy Guevara had a bit of a run in, but it was also in that summer where everyone was having a run in with Sammy Guevara. So like I don't have a strong opinion
Either
one way or the other on him. Like I
it
said, like for the way he went out, like of course they'd rehire him.
There was
if
no reason not to, I
Yeah.
guess.
I if I don't know if this was just they actually just had a beef and Sammy, you know, being Sammy kind of provoked it because it seemed like he was provoking people at that time.
Yeah, because
Um,
this was like a
I don't
couple
know.
because it was weird to me because like this happened a couple months after the Eddie Kingston one, and people like had completely different reactions to Andrade versus Kingston. So
Well,
it was
Eddie's beloved. Like Andrade doesn't have the same goodwill
I know,
necessarily.
but
I don't know. I wasn't sure like if it that at that time happened, or if he was trying to like pull a punk where it's like, I don't want out of this company, so let me like make myself get fired. I
I
don't know,
think
but
it
he
was
obviously
before
was
that,
brought
but
back. He obviously maybe like, but he was brought back. Well, even on his way out, yeah, he did business. They actually booked him well. He was in the Continental
and he
Classic, and
worked
then he
really
left, and it's
hard.
like,
Like I think, I mean,
yeah,
I will say I
and
don't think he ever. I would say his first run, he never dogged it. I wouldn't ever say I ever saw him like dog a match.
he didn't dog it, but I don't know that he like quite connected like they probably wanted him to.
Yeah, but I don't think that was his fault. I think the problem
Um,
is
and I think that there is something. I mean, like,
I was gonna say I don't
I,
necessarily think that's his fault. I think it's a miscasting, as in, um, I think people really want him to be like this main event level guy that like puts butts in seats, and he's really not that guy. And I think that's where a lot of the disconnect comes through. He's kind of like a mid carder that veers into upper mid card when you need to. Like I think where they have him now, like in the Callis family, I think that's perfect for him.
he's a guy
I can do
that
with a few fewer people in the Callis family, but
Yeah.
it's a good spot. By the way, there is a bit of news, guys. I'd like to point out
mm,
that for like a month worth of shows running, Pack has been wearing a shirt. So
mm,
this is groundbreaking.
yes. Uh, John Don Callis actually had a funny like tweet the other day where it's like if we go like basically saying the Don Callis family, it's like if we go on strike, we shut this whole place down. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of you in Don Callis family. But about Andrade again, I get what you're saying. Like he's someone that because tonight is AEW Title Tuesday. He's like a guy that's like you could build up to him having like a title match, even a world title match, on like a special Dynamite like this.
Or regular
But would you
TV.
have him? Yeah. Would you book him to like headline a pay-per-view
No.
with
No.
Hangman or someone else like for
No.
the title? Like, I don't quite think so. But
I might headline
I think he's-
him in a CMLL show, but that's different because like
Yeah.
he has a different meaning there. But like no, I like even I think putting him to headline a special might be a bit more than I would do with him. But like challenging on television and maybe a special, yeah, I would consider. But like as far as challenging for the like headlining a pay-per-view with him, no, he's not a headliner.
He did seem like he left on good terms. Although that's part of I didn't hear like the whole thing because I guess he went like hard in the paint against Andrade. But Dave Meltzer, I think one of the stories Dave had said, which some people I think have kind of like insinuated, whether it's true or not, was that at the time Andrade was actually running behind Tony Khan's back and like contacting attorneys or whatever to be like find a loophole to get me out of his contract so I could go back to WWE. And that's kind of like what Meltzer's trying to say. It's that kind of insinuate like Andrade's kind of this not ne'er do well, but kind of like he pulled
Malcontent.
that like he kind of pulled a fast one on Tony Khan. Acting like, oh, we're like simpatico, like everything's great, like well, I'm gonna work hard, but meanwhile, it's like he's trying to
But
screw Tony Khan and get out of his contract, which is like I don't know if that's true or not.
But the problem is though, that was a year or two before he left, and they could have repaired. Like, they're using something that happened before what happened on the way out against him, whereas like the way they did business on the way out tells me if there was an issue, they fixed it when they fixed it at some point, and I think people are like it'd be like let's say Shad and I had a beef like 5 years ago, and we were doing this show now, and we've been fine, and we buried the hatchet, and people are like, well, you can't like those two don't like each other because this thing happened 5 years ago, and then it's like, so what? We figured that out.
Yeah,
it's like
I don't know.
It's like Shad's a filthy Kentucky fan, so like we figured it out. I forgive him for his mortal sins, and then we just said fuck.
I'm sorry. All I could hear you say was, "You're right," and I shouldn't argue with you on that point.
Well, see, but the thing was, what people don't realize, then we realized Duke existed, so then we came together in our mutual hatred of Duke, so it's fine.
That's reaching across the aisle, is what that is.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sympathetic to a couple criticisms about Andrade. One, like I think Rob Viper made this, where basically he did like a several multi-tweet thing, telling a story about how like this he used La Parka as like the example. He's like, La Parka basically like he'll go into business for himself. He has main character syndrome where, he wants everything to be about him. Sometimes he'll do things which will screw you over because, he thinks it's in his best interest, whatever. And at the end of the series of tweets, he's like, oh, by the way, I wasn't talking about La Parka. I was talking about Andrade.
I think that's I think that's a more compelling
Mm-hmm.
argument against him than like what Meltzer's been saying.
Yes, I think that, Tony Khan seems smarter than, he was maybe a few years back about talent, but maybe he's learned some lessons, and Andrade will handle Andrade with a specific set of rules, or like he'll know how to handle if Andrade starts
I think
you're coming back
difficult.
in here. Yeah,
I think though I think the way they ended on things though does affect their relationship going forward, because I think like Andrade seems to respect the way Tony Khan did business with him as he left.
Yeah, and again, I think Tony Khan's a different animal in 2025 with regards to talent.
Like if this was Rusev, if it was Rusev that just this happened with, I'd be losing my shit and be like, why the fuck are you rehiring Rusev? Or even like
Yeah.
Aleister Black. Those would be different situations because I'd be like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Like, don't bring them back. That's terrible. But like Andrade's kind of like, like he did things the right way, so why wouldn't you
Yeah.
hire him again?
He did go out seemingly like the right way. Another well, I was about to say like Tony Khan I think has well there's still room to improve. Again, I don't like in his talent relations when if he's not going to use someone he would just tend to ice them or even ghost them, which I don't really like. I guess we don't know really what's behind the scenes, so but I mean there have been some people.
That
Now it's
seems
mostly
to
been lower card people.
that seems to have
It's
slowed down too.
it has, but again, I feel like it's mostly lower card people. It's like, Brian Pillman Jr., aka Lexus King. If he's like, Tony Khan didn't talk to me like the last 6 months of my contract, like he didn't book me, whatever. It's like the writing on the wall. Like if you're someone like Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints being like not booked for a year, it's like I think there was way more play, and I
Yeah.
would kind of believe the rumors that it's like he shot down booking ideas.
Yeah.
But
And
there's also stuff like
we won't
people are agitating.
I was gonna say we won't be discussing the Brian Pillman Jr. stuff tonight. We'll just say like
No. Yeah.
our severe like all I'll say about that is my condolences. That has to be just a terrible burden to carry in your
Yeah.
life. Like not to go too deep, but like I don't know. You'd almost feel like you were fucking cursed, wouldn't you? Like with that going on around you, like I mean, that's just terrible.
If my understanding is correct, then you look at it and you go, "Wow, there's something genetic at play there." But
his
anyway,
brothers was very different. But I mean, I can't imagine like so.
Yeah.
That's the most we're gonna say about it. But I know people might have heard that news.
Yeah. But turning it back, like I think the Tony Khan of 2025 seems to be a little bit smarter with talent relations,
Less
and how
naive,
he's-
less
yes, a little less naive, and those are hard lessons because again, if anything, certain people, i.e. CM Punk, like he let him just get away with absolute insane nonsense that the moment Punk started, well, basically after All Out, he should have been like out the door, gone, see you later, but he didn't. But I mean, whatever, that's water under the bridge. I'll say the other criticism about Andrade that I think is fair. It's unfair, but it's like I get it. It's like, and I feel like they're trying to shit talk him. The WWE is like, well, we weren't happy that his English is still bad, and it's like that's kind of shitty. But I also get it. It's a little unfair, but it's like I get that if you have certain ideas for him, maybe again you're gonna like push him as like a main event talent or really up the card, and his English isn't great, like where he can't be cutting a promo. Is it unfair? It's a little unfair. It's a little unfair, but at the same time, like I kind of get it. In major like national television, it's like.
But
you'd want the guy ideally too, but
we're gonna
talk
about it. We're gonna talk about it after the subject, but we're gonna talk about Alex Pereira in the UFC, and it kind of disproves that you need to speak English to get over and be a massive star.
Well, here's the thing, like in WWE, in recent times, they even had people like cut promos not in English. Like I think they did it with like Nakamura in Japanese, whatever. They've had them, and then it's like they subtitle it or whatever. In AEW, I could definitely see where like they speak in a different language, and then maybe like for the TV audience, they like subtitle it. Like, and that's something they could easily get around. But at the same time, like I kind of get it. I mean, it's unfair. It's a little unfair, but one of the things I've said, like Bandito, great worker, tremendous charisma. It's like, but can he like be cutting promos in English? Like that would push him to like the next level superstar. You could even put the world title on him. And then you hear the guy talk, and his English is actually like pretty good. And it's like, oh man, like Bandito could be like one of the guys. Like if Tony Khan can lock him down, and he might, because Bandito this year has talked very positively about Tony Khan. Like if he could lock Bandito down, that's a guy that, much like Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher and Hangman, Swerve, like guys that you can maybe lock under contracts, and they can build the next 5 years, 6 years of your promotion.
Well, and he's the guy you can go into Mexico with, and he's over and he draws. But I do want to defend Andrade on the English point, though. Is I think being mad at someone
Yeah.
because they're not learning English to your satisfaction, I think is a little unfair because there is like there's an aptitude portion of that, and he might just not be good at learning another language because I took Spanish for a long time and like
I
I could never I actually at one point could read Spanish fairly well in my life, but like speaking it I was never that great with. And I just don't think I had the
I can
aptitude
still
for it.
read it. I'm not great with the aptitude. I used to be able to speak it fairly well, but then I studied it in school, could speak it fairly well, and then never practice it, and so I
Yeah.
lost a lot of it. So I lost a lot of vocabulary words. I really can't conjugate well anymore. I can read it kind of decently, but then the problem is like I married someone who's who's of a Latin background. So my in-laws speak like Spanish as their primary language. Like my kids even have gone to like Spanish daycares, Spanish schools. So my youngest daughter can speak it like quite well. And to pick up-
I think Matt died.
Yeah, he froze up.
like there are
Oh,
some
there you
people
go.
just
There
like,
he is.
you'll struggle with it. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we can move on.
It's the thing I was going to say is that it seems to me like they just had a bunch of things to bitch about in their back pocket for when they released him.
Yeah,
They're like,
because
oh, he's not speaking English very well. It's like, well, okay, did you, like, honest to God, did you tell him he needed to improve that? He's not, he had wellness violations. It's like, yeah, but he wasn't suspended for any of them.
what
This, that, the other, and it's like, okay, how many of those things were real, like, things that he actually got disciplined for or told he needed to do?
well, what about managers? Like they used to have managers for this stuff.
Oh, they don't like managers there.
And I can believe he failed some wellness tests, considering his physique change. But like he didn't miss, like they didn't suspend him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And so
If
did
he-
you just have that in your back pocket so you could smear him on the way out? Like,
Yeah.
what good is the test if you're not gonna pop him for it?
Well, that's the thing. People have actually they said that, and it was very obviously like, shit talking a guy on the way out, and maybe doing that specifically because you anticipated he was going to go to your rival in AEW. But yeah, they said this, and then people actually, because I guess they have too much free time, or they just want to hate on the WWE. They're like they actually sat down, and it's like they basically monitored, maybe on Cage Match or somebody, they monitored all of like Andrade's like matches for like the last basically his tenure in WWE, and it's like there was basically no 30 to 60 day period where he wasn't actually wrestling a match. There wasn't, maybe if it wasn't even like you're working every night, it's like he'll have a match and then it's not a 30-day period where he's just not. So it's like, that was when they suspended
Well,
him.
he'd
for
only
wellness
been there
violations. Like,
for he'd only been there for like 8 months, hadn't he?
I don't know. I mean,
Longer
how
than
long
that.
is his tenure?
Longer than that.
He's
Came
shown
back
up
to
at
WWE,
the-
like 2 years.
So wait,
If
did he
that?
come back this year or last year?
He went back to WWE
Last year, right?
Yeah, because
Oh, that's right, yeah,
Because
yeah.
he was in the
It was
the
before-
2023 Continental Classic.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
before
okay.
Danielson won the title.
Okay, so he'd been there a year and 8 months. Okay, no, yeah. Okay, because I had it in my head that I forgot that like Rusev and Alistair were there
They were
another
more
year.
recent, yeah.
I had them all kind of like bunched together. Okay, so yeah, I'd seen that too. So I think he possibly could have, considering his physique change. But like, if you didn't suspend him for it, I don't care.
The other thing I would say is, if damn it, don't get away from me. Never mind, it's gone.
That's the worst.
Had a point. Just left me.
Especially when you could
Look,
feel it
it-
slipping away.
Yeah. I was
I-
trying to
I'd
hang
s-
on.
I'd say I don't I don't know how well their wellness policy actually is because there's guys on that roster. He could point to me like, I don't think that guy got his physique just eating chicken and rice. Like
Oh,
I love him. He's one of my favorites of all time. But AJ Styles, like, I'm not gonna be convinced that AJ Styles, got injured, was off, and then just, ate a shit ton
swole
of
up.
chicken and rice every day, and
Yeah.
that it's like, I
So
don't think that a 45-plus-year-old man
no.
just gets that big. Like, the older you get, you start losing muscle mass, and that's like, people have like fat shamed or body shamed Chris Jericho, and it's like the dude's like in his early to mid 50s at this
Yeah.
point.
And shut up, he
Like,
got in great shape. So
well, he got a great shape by largely like dieting really well and sort of building more lean muscle. So and that actually suits him. But I mean, his pecs are not. His pecs look a certain way because it's like he's old and he's gonna lose muscle mass. Unless he
Yeah.
does a shit ton of drugs to
Yeah.
do it, he's not
Or
gonna be
he's-
like have this really well defined pectoral muscles. Like it's not gonna happen.
So
or he's
one
pumping
thing
testosterone into him like it's
Yeah.
I
water.
did remember the point I was going to make is
Mhm.
having Andrade coming back on AEW TV looking the way he did. I'm not going to hate on too much because if they don't have you on the road, if they don't have you going anywhere, what are you going to be spending your time doing? Now, was Andrade like say your prayers, eat your vitamins big? I would not say he was that big, but he definitely had a different bodily change. So I'm not hating. It's possible that he could have. It's also possible that he said his prayers and ate his chicken and rice. But uh,
I mean,
I'm not gonna hang him out to
there-
dry just based
let's-
on that.
there are other top guys there who had injuries that are very indicative of you're using something and then lifting weights and it causes problems. There's two very big names there who tore pecs,
oh, remember
and
Punk
were out.
Punk tore
He was one of them.
fuck what he
Or his
didn't tear his,
tricep.
yeah, both of his triceps within but I will say to give him a bit of credit, I also heard that he brags about not stretching at all, so it could just be his own stupidity versus drug abuse.
Why in the hell would you not? I was so blown away by when I was in the locker room, not seeing other people stretch. I didn't get it. I'm like, what? Why are what? Why? Because I'm down. I'm doing hurdle stretches. I'm stretching my hamstrings. I'm stretching my quads and my calves and my shoulder. I'm stretching everything before I go out there, and everybody else is just like, well, I got my gear on, so I go out there when I'm like. Maybe some of them are doing resistance bands to get a little bit of a pump in their arms before they go out. But I was like, why are none of you stretching? It confused me so much.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Because even for a blue collar job, you should stretch. And the job I felt the best at, our boss would make us go and do stretches before our shift. That'd be the start of our shift every day, and I never felt better doing a job where I lifted all day.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. But
yeah, I don't know. So then, sticking into the land of wrestling, one of my favorite YouTube watches right now has been Brian Alvarez losing his mind and falling out of love with NXT.
is it Javon Evans that he's a?
Yeah, he likes Javon Evans.
Okay, so I can't speak to Javon Evans. I haven't watched his stuff. I don't. I've said it before. It's not for me, so I'm not going to be watching it.
Yeah.
But the fact that he has hit that point is really interesting. The fact that he finally hit the point where he's like, I'm so sick of you. I'm so sick of this. This is so stupid. Is frankly really fascinating. Because I've never heard him go round the bend like that before.
He has
Not on
main roster before.
I should say I've never heard him go around the bend of, I don't want to watch this anymore. I want to be done with this now, because he's been so frustrated.
Yeah, because what he's complaining about with Javon Evans is, I'm tired of you guys building him up just to cut him down again.
Yeah.
Is pretty, and he's complained about them doing that with other people. He's like, I just don't care anymore because I'm not gonna get my hopes up because you're just gonna snatch, you're just gonna pull the football away from him right at the end. And I get it. Like, that's kind of why I stopped watching WWE, like, and caring about it. Was you don't want to care about anyone, because if you care about the wrong person, they will make you pay for it. Like, and that was like a 20-something year thing. Like, Rob Van Dam, Booker T, the Hurricane, I can't think of other guys.
They did
Christian.
it with Kofi.
Yeah.
Like, they gave Kofi his run and then made sure to kill it deader than 4 o'clock at the end of it.
My problem with the Kofi thing isn't the way they did it. Like, I kind of get it. Like, he's not a guy you're going to put the title on a bunch of times, but it was the fact that, like, he just went right back to the mid card, never even cared to get another title shot. That's what I think is a problem.
Yeah. They killed him so dead to end that reign.
Yeah. They did that back in the day. They did that, like, initially with, like, Rey Mysterio. Like, huge support. He won the title, then they just, might as well have been a mid-carder. Because
they just beat him repeatedly for like a month.
Because in Vince's mind, it's like he's small, like it's not believable, and it's like, okay, he's not Marco Stunt, and he had all this like
he's
years,
also
like
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, like years and years and years of people just absolutely loving him and doing impressive things. That it's like, no, yeah, he's small, but it doesn't matter in this case. It doesn't matter.
And he was a massive draw for them too, like to the point that they're still trying to replace.
They're still trying
to duplicate that. Yeah.
They're still trying to do it, and even now, I mean, you just had Santos Escobar leave as of last night. His contract, he didn't renew his contract, and
really,
they're still trying. They offered him a new contract because this is expiring, and he's like, no,
he didn't want it
because he's been there.
Very clear, like.
He was there forever, and they never did shit.
I mean, I guess
guy.
Dynamite's still going on, and it's like, I guess you could literally see him show up at Dynamite tonight.
If he shows up, I'm gonna call it out because I have it on this screen right here.
He'd been there forever, and they just did not do. I swear to God, he wasn't like. Other people have called this out, so I'm not saying anything new. But like, Santo Escobar was the star of the Mexicans have problems with other Mexicans, like, weekly segment for the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's Paul booking. I completely whiffed on this, but until like he like left and I saw someone commented this, and I lost my mind. They're like, I can't believe they had King Cuerno and they didn't do anything with them. And I'm like, wait, what the? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, he was King Cuerno in Lucha Underground, and then looked it up, and it's like, yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, really? You had King Cuerno all this time? Like, I didn't even know. I knew he was like El Hijo del Fantasma, but like, I still thought like, oh, they're not really using him. He's just, he's one of the various Mexican talents that just have feuding with each other. That's all Paul does.
And that they're
Can't
letting
have
all
minorities
these
feud with anyone but other minorities.
Well, and I think it's funny that they're letting all the Mexican talent go after they bought AAA.
I mean, I don't know what's going on there. It could be that Mexican talent is like, I don't want to go and just be like, because apparently it's I've been paying attention to some people commenting on the show. It's like they're booking it like an American company, and by that I mean like there are certain things like that Lucha talent will do, and they're like, don't do that. So for example, like with Lucha tags, you don't have to tag each other. You can just come in. We've all seen like Lucha. We've all seen enough Lucha to understand that concept, right? Yeah. No, they'll work like a straight American tag where it's like, let me grab the tag rope. I'm reaching out my hand to you, sir. And it's like, that's not, we're going to work in Mexico. Like, culturally, that's not the shit that they do there.
You know what's crazy about that is when they worked in WCW, it wasn't like pure Lucha because they Americanized it a bit. But it's funny that a company that wasn't known for its racial sensitivity in the 90s was more open to letting them do their shit than like a company in 2025.
They just let them go do it. Yeah.
They at least even had the sense to have Mike Tenay, who respected lucha and understood it enough and researched enough that they'd have him on commentary for that, and he could offer like backstory, like this guy, like
and build up
he
the
was champion in
tradition,
Mexico.
and the match
Yeah,
means a
and hyped
lot.
up
And
that gave it more like gravitas and actually like hyped up the guys and was more respectful of them,
Yeah.
And
They
made them more
didn't.
of an attraction.
It didn't threaten guys at the top of the card or anything.
yeah,
So they didn't really care. The cruiserweights can cruiserweight, brother.
that's so. I knew they were going to do that too because they can't possibly have a different style of wrestling like at all.
No, everything has to be the same. That is one of the reasons when people ask me, do you watch WWE? And I'm like, no, I can't, because part of the reason is everything feels the same. It does not feel like there's any variety. Is there some? Okay, yeah, but it all feels like it's just different flavors of vanilla as opposed to vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and so on. Like, it feels too samey and it drives me crazy.
It feels like everyone's working the same match, even if it's like a spot foo match. They're working the same spot foo match with
Yeah, it's.
But with other companies, you do get variety. Even in Lucha Libre, you get variety. Like, it's just
Yeah.
And I don't like it because like there's tropes I want in my wrestling, like because I've always said like I'm a Southern wrestling fan, and like WWE has never done that. Like when we watch like USWA, like the personal issues between people and stuff, and there's like complexity to the storylines. Or if we go back and watch like Continental or something, it's the same thing. There's like complexity and stuff, and WWE has just never done that. It's just always lowest common denominator, like cartoony, like crap.
Yeah, it's.
And it's not like Southern stuff is like Shakespeare, but like if you go back and watch Old Memphis, it's like, hey, you stole my woman, let's fight, or hey, I want that thing you have, let's fight.
Or you treated me like crap, so let's fight.
Yeah, or I keep losing to you, so hey, why don't I put something up on the line to get you to fight me again?
Yeah, and I don't know. It just
What was the old like thing we saw where wasn't Jimmy Valiant turned on Coco Beware because it's like it's a contest something and Coco Beware
because
won, like a TV or something.
The battle royal, and he got eliminated by
Yeah.
Coco, and he got pissed off and broke his TV.
Yeah, it's like that's all it took.
And
it
then,
threw me over.
And then they got him.
TV. I'm pissed off of that.
And then they got poor
that's enough.
Coco. And then they got poor Coco a new TV like the next week, and he broke it. He broke that one too.
Yeah.
I think actually that the TV breaking happened on the same episode where he mouthed off to Tommy Rich's mom, and then that turned into that's such a great angle. And and Tommy Rich's mom like took a bump too. Like that's such a great segment. And and Tommy Rich comes out in like the white shirt, and if it's a Southern promotion, that means they're about to get stuck.
Bleed.
Like
All right. Yeah.
Because
there's some blood going on.
And what I love about that segment is Matt hates Jimmy Valiant, and he was watching, and his first thing was like, he's like,
yes, first time I've seen like Jimmy Valiant. I'm like, oh, okay, Jimmy Valiant.
He's like, he's just a loudmouth asshole.
I thought he was fine when he popped up in USWA, but he was already gone. They were like what, like 2-3 weeks and gone.
And Tommy Rich's mom was like letting Jimmy Valiant call her fat and stuff. Oh man, like,
yeah.
That's such a great segment. It's on YouTube, you should watch it. It's great. Like it's a great double turn. And then the other thing Brian Alvarez is complaining about though is this TNA invasion of NXT, which they're doing like, according to him and like the way they've described stuff, they're doing all the same mistakes they made with the invasion angle. Where like you have NXT talent fighting NXT talent. For some reason, Santino Marella is like the TNA commissioner. I'm like, who the fuck cares about Santino Marella?
TNA grabs up whoever they can grab up that has a little bit of name notoriety and tries to get as much juice out of that squeeze as they can. And I can't be too mad at them for doing that.
And yeah, they still like NXT is still trying to like make The Rock's talentless daughter like a thing, and she's like the NXT commissioner.
Yeah.
So you have to listen to her
I think
painfully
she
talk.
also I think she also got hurt, so she can't wrestle now.
Oh,
But
I
they keep her
didn't
around as the commissioner.
I didn't know that. I
Like
thought she
ever
just
again,
sucked.
or
I could be wrong about that, but
I I
think I
I
remember
kind of
something to that effect.
that sounds kind of familiar that she got hurt, but it's also
And,
was a long time ago.
Yeah.
this
I
is
feel to the point where it's like, was this a career-ending injury, or do they kind of figure you're not
NXT has a
really
way of
like?
NXT has a way of causing career-ending injuries. That's less shade than I mean to throw because
True.
it's inexperienced people learning, so it's gonna happen. But like Richie Steamboat got I think he got spinal stenosis.
Mhm.
That's a shame too. Like I know he did have to retire because he actually there is some stuff of him out there where he actually worked in Japan, and I thought he actually had like promise.
Yeah,
Like would he ever have been as big or as good as his father? I don't know, but I think he would have actually been
he was one of
talented.
those
Like he could have.
guys. He was one of those guys that like wasn't good yet, but you could see.
Yeah,
It
Because
was
like
in
he
there.
had some
yeah,
talent.
because
Yeah.
like I'll use a great example for me is like when Johnny Gargano was 19 and he was wrestling in Ohio Indies, and like the first couple and Cody Rhodes is the same way. Um, the first time I saw Cody Rhodes wrestle in OVW and the first time I saw Johnny Gargano wrestle, they weren't good yet, but I'm like, that guy has something and he's going to be a star. Cody, especially, the first time I saw Cody, I'm like, oh, like, he's like, you could tell the first, even when Cody was like in OVW, could barely wrestle, you were just like, oh yeah, I want to see him wrestle again, even though he sucks because he has something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's
And
got something in. He's got promise.
And Johnny
He's
Gargano
got
was the same
potential.
way. Like the first time I saw him, like, oh, that guy has potential.
Yeah. I got to see a couple of guys who are already good, and I think they have the potential to be really, really good this past weekend. So hopefully I'll get to see more of that. But it's, I remember one of the other things that that Alvarez said about this NXT TNA invasion thing was, who are you supposed to cheer for? Because they both each have their own show. So they're the face on their own show and the heel on the other show?
You could make that work.
There,
If you're
there's
smart,
one
you can
criticism.
make that work.
That's a big reach.
No, you could.
The biggest
But like,
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's a big reach to make it work. I'm saying the people making the decisions, it's a big reach for them to make it work.
yeah, but I think that would actually be a brilliant thing if you did it. Like how they did Bret Hart in '97 was a face in Canada and a heel in the U.S. Like, you could make that work if you were smart, but like that takes a lot of work.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of faith in pull that off.
the the biggest criticism that Brian leveled at this, which it's 100% correct and completely unavoidable. And I think if I recall, like the clip when he was ranting about it, he almost made it. I think he may have even like referenced like or alluded to WCW. And it is that way where it's like back towards the end, WCW was just doing shit that was so stupid and so insulting of your intelligence that any respectable fan was like, you know what, I can't. Like this is like so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
What they did was like, again, part of this whole big feud is like an NXT star, Trick Williams, came and won the title, the TNA title.
Yeah.
He's been holding it like hostage, like he's been holding the title. And just running roughshod over TNA people, and TNA is like up in arms, like furious about this, and like that's what in part, feuded this war. And so they're, it's the men's side, so he's gonna Trick Williams is gonna like head the NXT men's team.
Yeah.
And they have the TNA men's team, but then it's like the TNA women's title. It just got won by an NXT talent.
Yeah.
Okay, so now they're gonna have like NXT men versus TNA men and NXT women versus TNA women. And Santino Marella comes out there and it's like I'm choosing as the TNA women's like captain the NXT star that just won the title. It's like what?
It gets even worse
The
because
fucking NXT woman who just won the title a week
it's
ago.
it's even dumber
and,
than that because Trick Williams is on the NXT team for the men.
Yes, and no, that's what I'm saying. Like he's like, oh, he's the TNA champion, but he's like, you're still selling the storyline where it's like he's NXT and he thinks NXT is great and TNA is shit, even though he has your world title, and he's like, fuck you, ha ha ha. He's like, the heel in this against TNA, but TNA is like, this is part of what made us so upset about NXT to start this blood feud with you guys, and then you're taking an NXT woman and putting it as the head, like one of your captains for your team. It's like, this is the dumbest shit. It is so stupid. You're insulting my intelligence. That a woman who just won the title like a week ago, it's like all of a sudden she's like, oh, I'm not. Is she supposed to be like, oh, I switched teams. I love TNA now because I have the title?
You know why it's dumb?
Why isn't she like Trick Williams?
You know why
where
it's
like,
dumb?
fuck you. Like,
if I was in the TNA Knockouts division and they did that, I would literally go find Kalani Jordan and beat the fuck out of her until she gave up the spot on the team. Like literally every week, I would just get the other women and just beat the shit out of her until she quit. Like that is what they should be doing.
Look, we're all savvy enough to know like the real behind the scenes is that WWE basically there's some sort of deal in place where WWE has like first right of refusal in buying TNA, and what they're trying to do is find a puppet to buy TNA. Either I don't even know if this person...
They floated one of the Fratellis that used to own UFC. I think
UFC, yeah,
and someone else.
Which to me, it's almost like, are you going to get this person to buy TNA?
No.
Or is it like WWE is going to fund the money and just slide this person's name on it? So
they're already having some. They're already having some panic attack because something happened, and they think it's going to affect the negotiations.
The rate. Nielsen changed their ratings, and because of that, both I think both SmackDown and Dynamite were like 100,000 or more.
Yeah,
like
way down for a week.
Yeah, lower down. And Meltzer wrote about this. I haven't read I don't have an Observer subscription, so I haven't read it. But he I guess talked about this. But the way they changed the ratings, it now potentially will have wrestling, SmackDown and Dynamite at least, maybe Collision too. But they may be lower going forward. Maybe even I guess any wrestling like that's on actual cable potentially. I don't know. I don't know what methodology they did, but it could be lower. So even like NXT could be lower. Maybe NXT was factored in this too, but because of that seems
dumb and targeted it because like if you're affecting
I don't know
wrestling, like I don't know, that seems sketch to me because like
you're saying it was weird.
You're saying you took almost the exact same numbers from SmackDown and Dynamite. That's kind of sussy to me, but whatever. I don't
know, but it took TNA, which on a good week gets maybe like 100,000 people. Like it brought them down even lower. So now they're like panicking because again, their whole concept is to try and get TNA a TV deal and preferably on Wednesday nights against Dynamite, which is like NXT. When NXT was a much stronger product, Dynamite was kicking the shit out of it to the point where they had to move nights. So how is TNA? Which the only way you can really even approve it is if you just put NXT talent wholesale on it. How is that? Even then, like you don't have the quality of NXT talent that you used to have. How are you going to actually how are they really going to compete? But that's like their big idea. But now they're like panicking because it's like who's going to take? Is the CW or someone else going to take them? When it's like, look, you guys get like 100,000 viewers. Why am I going to put you against someone else if now you're also like getting lower in the Nielsen ratings? It's
I would argue, I would argue networks are going to be even more hesitant because if you take if you were to do like market research as a network on wrestling as a whole, I would say you would come away saying, it's kind of cold right now. I don't think I want to like buy in on a cold period because if you kind of look across other than CMLL and I think AEW on pay-per-view, everything's kind of down. except for CMLL, which is like
It's trending down, and that's the WWE is trending down, and I think a big part of that is two-part. One is like I think the actual creative direction is bad and has been bad, but now people are kind of cluing into like how
it's I think it's
it's
extra
even worse
bad.
than usual.
I think it's extra
Yeah,
bad. Like I think it was like, let's get it right. I'd say before, like, even good Paul Levesque was like a C or a C minus, and I think they're
yeah,
straight
that's
into like I think they're straight into like D minus territory now.
yeah. I actually I people are I actually read something that maybe like Baga Penguin Ibu wrote where he's trying to like defending the what the hell is it called with the Seth Rollins faction?
The Vision,
The Vision.
yeah.
He's trying to defend them. It's like people are trying to say like this is the beginning of the decline, but he's kind of trying to give Seth Rollins a pass where it's like actually he wasn't. It was like it's these other things, but and he's not entirely entirely wrong. I'm with you that it's like everyone has been tripping over themselves to pat, Paul Levesque on the back. I would argue that the Bloodline, which is like the most successful thing in years, one wasn't his idea, but anyway, like it wasn't his idea, and he wasn't the one booking it. But I would say that even that at its height was never really that good. It was
No,
kind of like it was kind of for a brief period,
and the parts that
somewhat interesting
and
because
the
of Sami
parts that
Zayn.
were good, the parts that were good were things Vince had planned. And the further they
Yeah,
got away from Vince, the worse it got. As sad as that is
yeah.
to say.
I would argue
Or
that
things
the
that weren't planned and were just kind of throw-ins. Like the
yeah,
whole Sami Zayn got super hot because a joke he had made a few times before caught on TV.
But
And
that
it's
was
like, okay,
also
that's
planned before Triple H got in power too, so he doesn't even
yeah,
get
yeah,
credit.
that's what I'm saying. Look, I'm not. I would need to have a specific example of something Triple H created in his tenure that's been successful. Because
Nothing.
I can't, I don't know of anything.
to the extent
I,
that it to the extent that it may have been created, it's something that is wholly derivative. Like the Judgment Day,
Yeah,
like
that
that
predates
may
it.
not have been that may not have been a Vince idea. It could have been, but let's assume it wasn't, just for sake of argument, it wasn't. It's basically just you're trying to redo the bloodline in some respects,
Yeah.
because it was another big heel stable that you basically just had dominate an entire brand of TV for like 2 3 hours. Only instead of SmackDown with Bloodline and Roman, it was Raw. I don't know. Point
think
is, like, I even the height of Triple H, I thought was not actually good.
No.
You're acting and lying to yourself that it's actually good. It's at best
I
average
think I think
or
people
worse.
were I think at first people were excited because he like week to week his stuff is a little more logical than Vince's stuff. But I think the problem that comes in with Triple H is like he's not creative. He has no flair. He doesn't really know how to like pop something. Um and because that's the thing, like I think Vince's week to week makes less sense, but like if you get like a good Vince angle in there, like a good Vince angle can carry you for months because when Vince hits something,
Yeah,
like he really even when he was getting old, like um and there'd be a big argument about something and Vince put his foot down, like Vince was almost always right.
yeah. He had good instincts about all
Like
that,
about
and he
all
was more
those
dynamic.
NXT people that he let go, and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, like he missed the mark on those, and Triple H is making it right." None of those guys worked out.
No, no.
Not a single one worked out.
Yeah,
to steal, well, it's not stealing because I'm going to cite them. Flagship has a phrase that Levesque has three storylines. Um, Debut or return, uh, group has tension, and I can't remember what the third one is. But I mean, that's what Judgment Day has been
For
for
years.
years now. That's what
yeah.
Bloodline was for years.
Yeah. Speaking of the first one that you mentioned, debut. I actually saw someone tweet this today, and I don't watch WWE, and I try not to even think about, a lot of their dumb storylines. But people are like, "Oh, like, so what's going on with AJ Lee?" It's like, why isn't AJ Lee versus Becky at like Crown Jewel, whatever like that? And I'm like, oh, you're right. They brought AJ Lee back. And then it's like, and then what?
They did made a
Has
huge
anyone
deal, yeah, out
has
of
anyone
bringing her
even been
back.
like, oh my God, all the great storylines AJ Lee is going to be doing? It's like it's been like 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I don't know, and people are like, no, you don't hear anyone talk about it.
Yeah.
I forgot that she came back until someone
I
tweeted it. It's
figured
like,
that's
hey,
what
what's
would
going on with
happen.
AJ Lee? I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, she did get brought back, and then it's like, why? Like, to what end?
I think you could have. I think
I
like
think that was the end.
yeah. I think that was the end, but I also think that's the lifespan she had because like they did one match with her. They did the storyline. I think it worked pretty well compared to everything else they did. And then they got rid of her before like people realized like, oh yeah, she kind of sucked. Why was I excited about this? Like they kind of
Yeah, but they
were
could have.
smart.
I agree with the person who's like, what's going on with her? Like they absolutely could have then transitioned it where they would have gotten at least one more match. You could have
Or
had like her against Becky Lee
or
as like another
or you
premium
could have
live event.
or you could have been really smart. You could have come out the next night and had Rollins and Becky Lynch injure her, and then you could have done like some kind of blood feudy sort of thing with Punk and Rollins as in reaction, and then she can just fuck off back to obscurity. Like there's more you could have done than just having her, I think, vanish.
I I don't go on Twitter very often, but I did see someone had a clip up that apparently on SmackDown it was Punk and LA Knight having a segment.
Yeah, they
And
had
I'm
a
like,
match.
what are you, is that what you're already, okay, that's what you're already, fine. But then the other hell of it was the reason that they reposted it was to say it looked like Punk was wearing a wig because the hair on the top of his head was a different color than it's been and it's fuller than it's been. And I'm like, oh my
Maybe he got
God.
the butt surgery.
When would he have the
I don't
chance?
know. I think I think
But
I think Rollins is a problem, but I would tend to agree with Ibu that he's not the problem. But I will say it's never worked with Rollins on top. But I think their problems are a lot deeper. Like I think they whiffed the John Cena story, which wasn't entirely their fault. I don't think they've
Oh, they
utilized Cody very well, like at any point during his reigns. And I think their biggest problem,
this year he's been bad. He's
yeah,
been bad this year.
and they
And
haven't.
the whole John Cena like last year run has been terrible, and I think people are realizing that. Even like people who are ordinarily like water carriers are realizing it's
yeah.
not been good.
Yeah, and I think they're really feeling the fact they haven't built a star in the Levesque era at all. Like they've kind of built Walter up and they tried with Jey Uso. But then with Jey Uso though, um you're already doing a bloodline nostalgia run, so
Yeah.
he's back with Jimmy. So I don't like Jey Uso. I think he sucks. But I will say they actually kind of did a good job of getting him to stand on his own away from the bloodline and the tag team thing. And that's kind of hard to do with long-term tag guys sometimes, like to get them out from under that. And you kind of just all undid it and put him back in the tag team. And like even though I think he sucks, like I think you made your roster smaller by doing that.
So again, a discussion I've heard elsewhere, but it was giving that to Jey Uso was to shut everybody up because you gave it to Kofi because everyone's like, oh, Kofi, and it's like, okay, here, you got your run. All right, now it's off of them. Now shut up. And it's like they did the same thing with Jay. It's like, okay, yeah, he got his thing. Now we're done. Okay, now shut
Well,
up about that.
there's a big thing in the WWE that I've heard other people mention, and I tend to agree with. Their fan base is very big on this is that person's turn. I did air quotes off screen. So I think that's
Yeah.
kind of why the Jey Uso thing happened. I think it's why Liv Morgan happened. They're real big on that. Like you're seeing it with oh damn it, Nikki Cross again because they're thinking she should get a belt again, even though she hasn't done a damn thing in months. Um, so yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. I think I just would have rode with Jey Uso as like a singles guy because now like I don't know, it just reduces your roster in size and like who was really wanting the Usos back together. And they hadn't been broken up that
Well-
long.
No.
Well,
They-
again,
they
like
had-
things are starting to cool down. So Paul is going back to something that worked. but
Bloodline
it's
2000,
not-
Blue
yeah.
Line, Bloodline, Black and
we-
Silver.
We might be going into the 4th inning of the Bloodline.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Since
Yeah.
we've been at the 3rd for like the last 5 years. But
I
let me go.
It's exhausting.
I also
Yeah.
think Heyman is a big part of the problem with the Vision because he's just doing his same stuff and people are sick of him because I'm starting to see the complaint of like Heyman's just doing the Bloodline stuff with a different stable. And
Yeah. Does this surprise anybody?
no.
No. I just this just exemplifies why I can't with them. Does AEW do everything perfectly? No.
No.
But at least for me, they do more better than they do badly.
I'll use a great
And-
example of an AEW angle that I just was dead sick of after a while was like the Callis family versus Jericho and the Callis family versus Kenny Omega. Those just went on forever.
Yeah. I'm glad if we're gonna. I'd like to see, even if Kenny's only working at like 75% speed, I would be glad to see Kenny back on TV doing 75% speed stuff in multis or in tags or something. Like, I would be great with that. I'd be thrilled with it. You can give me that. Just for God's sakes, I don't need two things. I don't need from that. I don't need, number one, I don't need him feuding with Don Callis more. And number two, I need people to stop punching Kenny in the diverticulitis. Can we please get past that?
Yes.
'Cause
And
I am sick of that.
and please it's not a threat to happen right now, but please don't put him with Gabe Kidd again cuz I can't like I don't want to sleep through one of the last few Kenny Omega matches.
Look, people have said this, and it's like it's true. Has there anyone who basically started the year with like so much promise, like where you thought he was, oh man, this guy's gonna be like a next New Japan superstar, who just like completely nerfed himself than Gabe Kidd? Like he had that match with Kenny Omega, and it got rave reviews. People like, oh my god, Gabe Kidd, he's like the next guy, and then he's just been like
Cuz he's not
fucking terrible.
Because he's not that good. Like he's not good. Because I think
But it's not even
Shad.
that. It's like he didn't even like leverage that into being like. They put the belt back on Zack Sabre, and like Zack Sabre is good,
But
and
he's
he's
not.
got personality, everything. But it's also like
He's
Gabe
not.
Kidd should have been able to like.
Yeah.
He should have been able to try and finagle that to like let me have like a brief like 2-3 month run with the
Shad.
belt, and then they like.
Because
I don't know.
anytime he comes up, I don't know if Shad has a meme of it, but there's always something Shad says anytime I start shitting on him. Is like that guy yells a lot. Is
Yeah,
always
yeah,
Shad's-
I do.
That's the guy
I
that
do.
yells. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it from
It's-
Matt.
Yeah, it's from one of the skits from the Netflix show. I think you should leave sketch comedy show with Tim Robinson, where it's like it's a driver thing, and the guy's trying to drive through the parking lot, and the guy won't move in front of him, and the guy's like pissed off. He's like, "Move! Can you move your car?" And he's like, "No." It's like, "What? What?" He's like, "I don't know how to drive." It's like, "You know how to drive?" It's like, "Yeah." Not everyone knows how to do everything, and the guy just starts, they start yelling back and forth, and he's like, "What if I have a job interview, and you're the guy?" He's like, "I'm not going to a job interview." He's like, "Yeah, but what if you are? Then I'm the guy interviewing you," and I go, "You know what? That guy yells," and it's like that's Gabe Kidd, that's his gimmick. He yells. I saw he was on. I'm like always behind the Dynamite Collision. I watched from the like maybe around the Forbidden Door, the Cell to Forbidden Door.
God.
And he came out. He's cutting a promo, and he's just yelling, and it's actually was so bad. And I'm like,
You know what I
what
love?
was your appeal?
You know what I love? You know what I love about being me sometimes? And Gabe Kidd's a perfect example. When I just get in early on hating on someone that sucks and people haven't realized it yet, and I slowly watch everyone come over to
You
the
get to
dark
be the
side.
hipster about it?
Yeah. Everyone starts coming over to the dark side with me. But he's so boring. Like he really should be giving Kenny Omega a cut of every check he gets when he comes to America, because that guy, he doesn't really have charisma. And like, every time I see him, like, I've got a better feel for him now. But even then, I thought Kyle O'Reilly was him a couple weeks ago, and I almost lost consciousness because of the boredom setting in. But um, he shouldn't come out, and I shouldn't be like, who the fuck is that? And I'm like, oh, okay, that's Gabe Kidd. Like, I shouldn't be like, bald beard man is not like not a look.
Yeah, it's look. When Gabe Kidd has showed up to do stuff with the Death Riders, the whole gimmick has been he's a hired gun for them. Okay, fine. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And you know why? I'm a hired gun for you means I show up, I fight on your side. That's really all I got to do. So I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't need more than that. But I'm not watching New Japan where he's a featured singles guy. I don't need that.
I think his
But
push has kind of evaporated in New Japan, honestly, because I think he's not over.
Did he? He yelled too much. That's.
I think they got tired of the crowd falling asleep. But he was hot for like 5 seconds, where I was like, "Oh my god, Gabe Kidd!" And then like he did stuff that wasn't with Kenny Omega, and people are like, "Oh,
Gabe Kidd."
Yeah.
Look, I don't. I think the title went on Zack Sabre Jr. in preparation for it going on Takeshita. Is what I honestly think.
They're in dire straits as a promotion. Like, they just don't have anyone.
From various sources. I won't. Not just one, but from various sources. I think they're really banking on Aaron Wolf coming together. Who is? I did have to sit down and get this one, like, seek out an explanation. Aaron Wolf was an Olympic judoka for them, and he's like a national celebrity. He's a big deal, and friends with Okada. And he asked about the wrestling thing, and Okada said, "Well, you go to the New Japan Dojo for that." So I think they're probably banking on him to be their next guy, or one of their next guys.
They just haven't. I mean, Matt's complained about this for, I think, as long as this podcast has existed. But they're paying the price that they did not push their young lions soon enough. And now, like, their stars have aged out and the young lions aren't over. Yeah, and they all have horrible flaws of some kind.
Yeah, I've kind of, in recent years, I have made that criticism, and I kind of stand by it, where it's like, it shouldn't be like we have young lions, like the next generation, and they're young lions still effectively in trainee status
at 32
for like 5-6 years or longer. It's like no, like that shouldn't be the case. Like, come on. But at the same time, the young lions that they've had, like, they all have like they have flaws where it's you think like, oh man, this guy, okay, not this guy, maybe this guy, and it's like, oh no, he's flawed in a different way. Well, maybe this guy, and it's like
I think
Ren
Yota
Narita,
Tsuji.
no.
I think Ren Narita is like the closest they have, and even he's like,
he's the closest, and he has like a lot of charisma, and he has like the look and like some presence to him.
And he's an okay worker, but he's not like he doesn't have it. He doesn't have that it factor.
He's like a decent worker. He's decent, but he's not the guy that you put like the world title on.
No, and like, for all of his charisma and like having the look, you look at him, you're like, that's not a top star.
I don't know what would be like if you're going to put like an AEW, or I guess even WWE equivalent, like an AEW equivalent. Like, who would you say he is? It's like he might be. Would he be like a Kyle Fletcher maybe, where it's like, you're good worker, pretty decent worker. You have something, but I wouldn't put the world title on you. Like,
yeah,
no.
I think he would be like about that.
Or Jack Perry. Maybe Jack Perry's a better example. It's like, I like Jack Perry.
I think he has more upside than Jack Perry, though, because Jack Perry, I think, is a mid-carder, and I don't think you would push him much up. Maybe
I think Jack Perry is going to be an upper mid-card guy. Like, I think that he's gonna firmly settle there.
I think Kofi Kingston would be a good like analog, I think, where it's like
Maybe.
you're pretty good, like you have some flaws as a worker, you have some charisma, the crowds like you, but like I'm not gonna put my promotion on your back, like other than
Yeah.
maybe like a thank you reign or something at some
Yeah.
point.
And look, that's fine because people do kind of forget that it's like there's lots of guys. Maybe you love particular people, but not everyone is like main event
Yeah.
world champion material, and that's fine because you can have Jack Perry could have a long successful career and never sniff the world title. Like he could have a long successful career in AEW, be there for years,
Yeah.
be in a bunch of entertaining stuff, whatever, and never actually hold the world title, and that's fine.
Or it's like that guy
But
Earl Weaver's talking about how they felt sorry for that guy, got released by all those teams, but they thought he'd like to watch a baseball game and he could come in and he can hit one out of the park in the ninth if they need him to.
yeah, it's like, but all the young lions are like flawed.
And they're flawed in ways that I don't think you can fix, is the other part of the problem.
They're not. I worry about that yet. They're not, or even if you do fix them, it's like you still can't. You can't really put the world
They're
title.
flawed in deficiencies ways, not in like
I
correctable need experience ways. They're flawed in like don't have that quality ways, like really
so
hard to fix ways.
yeah. I'm looking up Aaron Wolf, and he was born in Japan, son of a Japanese mother, American father. He's young. He's 29. And he does have a judo career, and he's going to have his debut match January 4th, 2026, so soon. But
You'll have to check that
it's like
out.
I worry like are you going to pull like look he has a legit like combat sports background. If Inoki was still alive and running the shit,
Oh,
like
he already
Aaron
had the
Wolf would
world
have
title.
no he'd have his debut match on January 4th. The next match would be for the world title, and he'd win it.
Yeah.
Like that'd be Inoki.
That'd be heavy breathing and no. Guys, I've got late breaking news.
Yes.
So it
Pac
would,
is now wrestling in long tights and a singlet as opposed to just trunks and boots.
and
Is his hair wet?
Well, yes, his hair is wet, but it's not long anymore.
There was a period of time briefly where his hair was like dry, and it was like people started freaking out, and it's like dry hair Pac can't hurt me. He doesn't exist, and it's like he does. He does exist. It's
you're
like,
forgetting the best part though is if Inoki was still in charge, he would also then get stripped of the title in April for either refusing to do business, sell, or any other sorts of issues that you would run into with a shoot fighter.
Or Inoki would have pressured him to do an MMA match against like the top MMA fighter in the world,
And then get
and
his
he'd lose, and Inoki would be like, "No, you don't have fighting spirit." So
or you would have him do that and he'd look okay and then kind of get his face busted up, and then he would be in a match with Takayama, who would then further bust his face up, and he would get a dislocated eye socket or orbital bone, and then have to vacate the title when he was like your new hot prospect. Yes, I'm talking about Nakamura. So
I was going to say, it sounds like you're being rather specific there.
yeah.
no, I mean I just made that up off the top of my head, but
I'm gonna argue something.
or put it on
Like,
Bob Sapp. Oh God, that was so stupid.
I would say that I think you're right. There's a great chance they'll put the title on Takeshita. Hiroki Goto was actually very successful as a champion, or he was very popular. They may put the title back on him when he comes back. He said like, oh, he's injured, but he was filming Street Fighter, which I think it's probably done.
He was popular, but he's that popular with the fans, but he's not like drawing anyone in.
I don't know. Like he may have been. He was popular, and he was having some good matches. I don't know what his drawing power. I don't know if there's a lot of guys who are drawing real well in Japan right now.
Well, I think Stardom's still doing pretty well.
Stardom's doing well. Saya Kamatami is actually like a big success. Like she's become like a breakout star for them. So, but going back, Goto, I don't know quite what the equivalent is. It's like in AEW if
he's kind of Lex Luger.
maybe
With
I
all
almost
the
want to be like if
choking, with all the choking throughout his career, like he's kind of got that Lex Luger arc to him. Maybe maybe like Chris Jericho pre AEW or pre WWE release. He's in that stratosphere of like guy that they jobbed a little too much and has lost his luster over the years.
I I it's not. I want to say like it'd be like what if not right now, but 2, 3, 4 years down the road because they don't have people. What if they put the world title? I don't want to even say like Orange Cassidy because Orange Cassidy's been pushed to that level, but it's like what if they put the title on like Roderick Strong?
Black.
It's like Roderick Strong is a really good worker and could maybe like you can count on him to have good matches and there's a certain amount of like goodwill towards him.
But he doesn't have the
Yeah.
charisma.
Or maybe even Roderick Strong is the best. Like, you could be like, what if they put the title on Mark Briscoe? It's like, well, that's another one. He's a good worker. Mostly been in tag teams.
Briscoe you could do more with because Strong does not have the charisma to really draw in casuals. The thing with Mark is Mark's content doing what he does, and I think he works well as kind of like a low mid card comedy ish guy that you can like throw into situations because he's still a crazy redneck.
He's been doing like you. I don't know that Mark's the best choice because I think that if you had a short transitional reign, I could see that working if you were careful with it. And serious Mark Briscoe serious Mark Briscoe beat MJF in a thumbtacks match and that sort of stuff. So I don't I'm pondering on who I would maybe this would probably be too far down, but would like Lance Archer or Brian Cage would be too far down the card for it, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't like Goto wasn't like at that level. Like he did kind of languish in tag teams for a while.
He might be
but
like
I mean,
Kyle
I think he
O'Reilly.
won. Maybe. Like I mean, I'm pretty sure Goto won like a G1 once or twice. Like he was.
Yeah, because they did that whole oh, what year was that? It's a long time ago now. It's been like almost 10 years probably. They did that whole angle with him against Okada and Tanahashi where they built him up, and he was going to prove he wasn't a choke artist, and then he lost.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Oh God, I hate that stuff. So I remember when they did that with Ruby Riott and Britt Baker, and it was like, yeah, okay, they're going to give Ruby the nod here because that's what the whole point of the story is, and they didn't. And I'm like, well, you just killed her career dead because
she never recovered from that either.
No, she never did.
Maybe also a good example. It's like, what if? I mean, now like they're obviously being featured and used well, but what if like 3, 4 years down the road, they need to put the world title on someone for a while just to add stability, and it's like you put the world title on like Speedball Mike Bailey. It's like, oh, well, he's a good worker. Like, I don't know that I would do a long reign, but it's like he probably has some buy-in, and he's popular. He's a good worker. Like, so I don't know. Maybe that. I don't know. But I guess long story short, New Japan is hurting. I think they're going to put the title on.
They're where WWE's going to be in about 5 years if they don't get their shit together on building people up.
Oh, I feel like less than that.
3 years.
Less than that because I don't.
They're already starting to see those cracks, but they're following they're about where New Japan was in 2020, I think. Maybe 2020, 2021. Maybe. They're getting that creak into them.
I'm going to have a crazy suggestion in the short term because he just announced he's leaving. He left or is leaving Pro Wrestling Noah. Maybe the short term New Japan, if they can, drops cash to get Go Shiozaki to come in because he could instantly be like a main eventer.
I don't know what his buy-in is with fans anymore.
Well, he's 43, but he's a great worker. It's
God,
like
I
you could probably have him
remember.
come in.
Man, I'm so old. I remember when he was just like a young gun, like starting out, and he was a young guy with
Yeah.
promise coming over to do Ring of Honor. And oh man, like we're old.
He's a great worker though. Like I think you could have him come in and maybe work out a couple year deal with him. He can come in and you could have him be in the main event, and he probably would equate himself well, and you could maybe try and like right the ship. But I don't know. Like New Japan is in.
They're in bad shape.
They're
They
kind of in bad shape.
They don't.
They
They don't
were
have easy answers.
They don't. And when guys like Okada and Osprey left, it's like, this is bad, but we still have people. Then it's like, nah, now
Because
the new guys stand
Tanahashi's
out.
quitting, Naito's about
Yeah,
done. Like I said,
Naito's gone.
oh,
Like,
that's
yeah,
right.
Naito's gone.
But like,
If I was going to be booking someone to be my new hot baby face for New Japan, from everything I've heard, you need to have whoever this new hot baby face is just kill House of Torture. And not like just beat them, but like murder House of Torture. A whole bunch. So that House of Torture doesn't want to mess with them. Because I have heard just staggeringly frustrating things about House of Torture. in
they've
Japan.
had this feud with the War Dogs this year, and it hurts my soul.
everyone, at least most American fans absolutely hate House of Torture. I guess they're over with the Japanese fans.
Because they're different.
But
They're different.
yeah,
And then I think WWE has the same difficult things they have to answer at this point, and they're kind of just putting it off. And I think that's a problem.
So the thing when you guys were talking about it, the thought that came to my mind is, let's say WWE has 2 or 3 key injuries happen. And take your pick who. 2 or 3 key injuries at the top of the card happen. And then you're in a bad spot because now all you have to put up there are people that you've been basically telling everybody ain't got it.
So let's say Cody, Punk, and Rollins all have freak injuries on the same card.
Yeah. So what do you do then?
Um,
What are you going to do? Are you seriously, honest to God, going to go back to Brock Lesnar again? Because that's going to go super de-duper well. Are you going to go, like, you've murdered Drew McIntyre.
I mean, I would do Sami Zayn.
You've got
because
Gunther.
I would do Sami Zayn.
Gunther and Sammy, yeah.
Because Sammy is like the lone highlight on a lot of shows. He's always putting in the best work on each show. I'd probably do Sammy. I'd bring Gunther back up. I don't know. I might see what AJ can give you. And I don't think it's much.
But my point is that in that case, you've got Sammy and you've got Gunther. That's only 2 people.
And
that's not enough to round out. And so then
you could probably
are you elevating Breaker?
No, he's not good enough.
Are you?
You could
who?
Randy Orton's in there. Oh God,
I forget Orton's around.
But yeah, I don't think you can work him. I don't think you can work him full time though. That's another issue. I mean, you could.
I don't think you can.
They just kind of screwed around with him. You could probably like. I don't think it'd work, but like Jey Uso, like off and on here and there. Rusev's not over. Jeez, Finn Balor, you could start pulling back up, but he's getting old.
Dude, they have spent 10 years telling everybody. Ever since Finn Balor won the first Universal title, they have spent all that time since then telling everybody that he ain't worth it.
Yeah, I know. You could. I mean, you could. I don't think it would go over. I think okay, so what I would probably do is I'd probably wheel up to Nick Nemeth and Chris Jericho's houses with dump trucks of money and beg them to come and work on the top of the card. Like, I'm not saying that's perfect, but I think that's where I would probably go in an emergency.
I mean, you want to bring back Dolph Ziggler, a guy that you basically told everybody ain't got it either for ever how long.
I'm not saying it's a good choice. I'm saying it is a choice.
I just don't. It's the same kind of thing, like you were saying, is the young guys they built up. like Braun's the only young guy that they seem to have invested a lot in.
And I don't think he's just not there yet. And I'm questioning what his cap looks like, because I think he's not quite as good as we initially thought. I don't think he's like a main eventer. I think he could be fine as like a mid card, upper mid card guy. But like if you're saying like, oh, would you put Braun on top of, like, I don't think I would.
So, and by the way, how long are you going to keep the name Braun Breaker on him? Is there any point in the future where Bronson Steiner becomes a thing?
No.
Probably not. But Braun Breaker just sounds like a developmental name.
And I think he's lost a little something in the division, because like he's got a heat magnet like around his neck in Bronson Reed. A black hole of charisma and heat next to him that's, I think, dragging him down a little bit.
It's okay. That makes more sense,
because
it's
hard to care about a guy when his partner you just could not give two craps about.
Yeah. Sorry, I just watched Orange Cassidy do a sloth splash from the top of the post to the outside on Pac, and it was great. So,
so then the early rumors for John Cena's final opponent is Gunther, which I don't know if I believe, and if it is Gunther, it makes me start to think like, oh, maybe they're going to have John Cena win his final match.
I would hope not, because you're not going to have any opportunity. If John Cena goes out winning, then all of that heat that could be had on it is just gone forever, just done forever.
I mean, they really haven't gotten much out of him, like, this final year with him to put anyone over.
I'm just saying, if Gunther's the guy that says, I'm the guy that retired John Cena, he could use that as a feather in his cap for heat for a long time. Oh my God, they're doing a callback spot. I'm sorry. I know we don't typically do this, but Pac is doing the callback spot to the Orange Cassidy roll thing. It's great. And I'm just looking for new people to
like, he hasn't worked with any
show up and stuff.
He hasn't worked with any young guys. They've been kind of doing his greatest hits thing. And I think even if Gunther were to beat him, they would do something to immediately undercut Gunther within like 2 weeks.
Well, they did it with when Gunther beat Goldberg, it didn't go anywhere. And
because even like Jacob Fatu was starting to get a little bit of momentum going earlier this year, and then they stuck him with Solo Sikoa, and it immediately just derailed him, and no one cares again.
I think it might be that if it's John Cena's last match and he wants to have it be a good match, that might be why they picked Gunther for it. But man, I don't know. I know full well why you go out on your back. I know why you go out on your back. You go out on your back so that everything that someone's invested in you goes on to invest in somebody else. That's the point.
But they haven't done that in a long time.
They haven't. And somebody needs to get the rub out of you winning your someone needs to get the rub from your last match. Like when Sting went out, Darby got the rub from it.
Yeah. But like even like when they had Undertaker put Roman over on the way out, like they dicked around with Undertaker so long that I feel like there was really nothing to get out of it at that point.
They could have if Taker didn't look so bad. Because that did not look like Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. It looked like Roman Reigns beating up on an old man.
Yeah.
And it was just hard to watch.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. I would say that's probably the best choice though, because I was trying to think of like who could possibly face him? Like, I don't even know who would be interesting.
I mean, if you were to give me the entire roster and say who's his last match going to be with, Gunther's a good choice, or the only other name I might come up with would be Drew McIntyre.
The best, I think the best choice they let go to AEW. So
Ew.
Edge, Cena versus Edge, he was his best.
Oh my God, people! So Edge is like taking time off to go film Percy Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which is I don't know what channel it's on.
This is
Streaming
Disney
service, HBO
Plus.
Max?
No, it's a Disney.
Okay, okay, Disney. And people online were convinced. Now it was like the really dumb aggregator accounts, but they're like, oh, like Edge gone from AEW is going to be John Cena's final opponent. Like it's like, I need y'all to not be brand new.
Yeah.
Like, let's be realistic. Like he's not. That's not what's happening. Let's be. Come on.
they wouldn't have just started the Edge and Christian reunion right when his contract was up.
It's not, and I think he has like another year or so. Like he may be more with injuries, and it's like well, it's not happening. But
yeah,
it's so stupid.
Tony Khan's a nice guy, but he's not doing that for WWE.
God.
I was gonna say Bryan Danielson would also be a good choice, but also in AEW and not wrestling again.
And Danielson had an interview, like, I don't know, in the last few weeks that I read about, that he was like, oh no, man, my life's different. I'm not going back. I can't go back. Life is different now, and I'm happy with how it is, or something to that effect. And it's just like, you know.
So I can believe that, like, he wouldn't be like a week to week on TV thing again. I don't know if I believe that, like, he's never going to sit back in the ring, because he had said before, and maybe it's changed, but I mean, he had said before, when he knew like this was going to be like his last year of doing stuff, you know, primarily like doing the week to week thing. He had said like wrestling was basically in his blood. He loves wrestling. It's like he'd be fine being the guy. It's like he's just going to randomly pop up, you know, at an indie show and wrestle a dude in front of 300 people if he wants, because he just loves wrestling so much. So it's like, I can believe that, you know, he would maybe still do stuff, but not like every week. But maybe
I could
like,
see he could be at the point though where Brie has put her foot down and said, "This shit's got to end because you got to be there for your kid." I think that could change. His outlook.
No, things could have changed. Like
because if I was her, I'd be like, no, like, we're not doing this anymore. Like, you can go do appearances, and you can work for them, but like, no, we're not doing this anymore. You're not getting hurt anymore. I don't want you in a wheelchair in 7 years. Like, you're either picking wrestling or me. Like, that's where I think I would be with it at this point.
And he really, there are some cases where it's like, oh, maybe he's still something. Like, he has nothing left to prove. Like, he's been world champion of the two biggest promotions of the last like 20 years, American promotions, like 3 if you count Ring of Honor back in the day. Like he's you know, he's main event at WrestleMania, if you give a shit about that. More than once, you know, he's in the contention. He's in the discussion for
headline the biggest wait, did he headline? No, he didn't. He was on the biggest show ever. He didn't headline though. He headlined the next year.
Yeah. But he has nothing to prove anymore. Going back real quick to
Randy the Ram is not a life goal. I'm just gonna say that.
Yes.
No, you're right. You're right.
Going back to Cena's last match, it's supposed to happen in DC, and as you may know, like, I live in the DC area. It's happening at the Capital One Arena, which the apartment that my wife and I, before kids, actually the first year of our oldest daughter's life, we lived in an apartment that was like a 10-minute, 15-minute walk from there. Like, we were like half a mile from the Capital One Arena. That's where our apartment was. So we could have walked to the Capital One, and we did. Like, back when the Capitals were actually like on their way and then won the Stanley Cup.
You're at the first Dynamite from that
I was
facility too.
absolutely, yeah, yep. I was the very first time I was there. But when the Capitals like were in the the
The
finals, like they
Stanley
eventually
Cup.
won the Stanley Cup, like we didn't go to the games 'cause it was like expensive, but like we went down there and just like celebrating with people when they actually like won games. So we were really close. That Cena's final match is supposed to be at the Capital One Arena in December, so like just a couple months from now. And I don't watch the WWE. I don't like giving them my money, but I'm like, let me just see for giggles, shits and giggles. How much would it cost me if I wanted to go to Cena's final match, like in December in DC? And I looked it up. The cheapest ticket, and that's me getting nosebleed seats. The cheapest ticket was like 250 each. And I'm like, I'm not going and spending minimum $500, which once you factor in like paying a babysitter to watch my kids
Yeah.
and going into the city and maybe like whatever concessions, like getting fucking chicken tenders for dinner and like a beer or two with my wife. Like once you factor it all in, I'm paying north of $500,
Oh,
600, seven. Really, once you factor in babysitter, I'm paying like $700 or something to go see Cena's final match. It's like, look, I like Cena, but this isn't like Kenny Omega's final match or Bryan Daniels' final match. Like, it'd be a historic thing, but I'm not paying that much amount of money to go see Cena's final match. Like, I'm not doing it.
Do-
Like, you know how many bills that I could pay with that amount of money? I could pay like all my utilities and then have money left over just paying that amount of money,
Do,
like in a month. Like, that's insane.
do
But
you,
that,
do you want to know what going to Final Battle and Collision at GalaxyCon in December in Columbus would cost you?
no.
Okay, so for the premium, which is sold out. Now understand you get after hours admission to the con for this. So for
Oh, this is rolled in with the convention ticket
Yeah.
pricing.
yeah, I don't think you get like during the day, but
So I get it.
But so the premium, which
Do I
is
get
sold
in
out.
during the day? Wait, do I get in during the day?
No, I think you
Oh,
can
well.
if you. I think you can if you.
Wait. Are you?
I think you. I think there's. I think there is. I think
Hang
there
on,
might
hang
be.
on.
It says after hours.
GalaxyCon.
Purchase
Well,
of an AEW Collision ticket includes after hours admission. Let's see what the. Let me see if the.
All right, I'm gonna run this through the Google real quick.
I thought I said something. It said something that was okay. So 287 gets you both as a premium, like so premium seating, and what is okay? So then, if you want to do either show as its own, it's 90.66 for the most expensive seat. 58.78 for the second wave, and it says after hours admission. Wave 3 is 37.52, and that's for both nights. So you could conceivably go to both nights for $75.
Person.
Yeah, and if you wanted to go like in the expensive stuff, it's 2 nights of wrestling, and it'd be like $182.
So I could see multiple shows.
Yeah, you could see Final Battle
for
Friday.
even less.
Yeah,
Even so I could see for two people, like me and my wife.
Yeah.
and
could
it's
see multiple
literally
shows,
in
at
the
least two
Columbus. It's literally in the Columbus Convention Center, so you could even get a hotel room in the same facility and not even leave the building and go to the next show.
Yeah, I could probably get a hotel and 2 nights of wrestling for both me and my wife for the cost of like both of us to go to Cena's last match.
Like I said, you
Yeah,
could stay in the
it's-
facility and walk to a lot of restaurants. Like you don't even have to leave.
Yeah, but we digressed to a point I was going to make 30 minutes ago. Like part of the decline of WWE, I think one part was the booking. The other part was it's the pricing. And God, who's the actor? Is it Paul Walter Hauser who
Yeah.
has done stuff with Ring of Honor? He just had a match
Yeah.
with QT Marshall at Ring of Honor, and he does wrestling,
Mhm.
But the thing about the guy that I love about him is like he actually is like wasn't he? I think he was an Oscar nominated actor, or at least like golden. He is an actually accomplished actor, like
Yeah.
in Hollywood, like accomplished. Like he doesn't need to do this shit, but he loves wrestling, so he does it. But he made a comment that, of course, like got pushback from WWE Fed fans because he was like the WWE pricing is like gross. It's bad. You're
It
pricing out
is.
families, and it's true. And that's I think what's killing them. Like the people have noted that a year ago and a few months ago, a SmackDown taping was selling at a certain level, and it's like $2,000, 3,000 people less, and
Yeah.
yet they'll be like, oh, record tickets, record
Record
sales.
tickets, yeah, sales.
It's
So
like it's like yeah, when you charge everything more, it's like yeah, you're gonna get like 3,000 tickets less, but you're still gonna make more money because you jacked up the prices. But then
Yeah.
you ice out families. I mentioned before on the show, like an episode or two ago, that friend of the show, Christy Petrillo, like they came in his era. He and his son, like they love watching wrestling. Chris, lifelong wrestling fan. His son is into it too, and he's like, no, we're not gonna go because it's too expensive. Like once you factor it, even if it's just him and his son, not even his wife. It's like even if it's just two of us going, it's like way too much money. Like
There's there was a guy that
yeah,
wrote into Brian last for the Cornette show, and because they were talking about the ticket prices, and he said, "I literally bought this seat last year, and they priced me out the next year because they like I don't think they quite doubled it. I think they made it 30 like a third or up to 40% more expensive, but that's what they've done to their fans. Like someone that paid like an outrageous price that paid like 2 grand for a seat, like the next year it was like 3,000.
yeah, yeah. By the way, Paul Walter Hauser has a Golden Globe and a Primetime Emmy Award.
mm.
So
And so the final topic, we might digress a lot for this. Shad and Matt don't watch UFC, but there was an interesting little conundrum this weekend that I thought was interesting where like UFC, which is a legitimate sport, pulled off like a better face victory than WWE has in a long time. And that was Alex Pereira winning back the light heavyweight championship um, this past weekend, which got a lot of hype. Ended like a pretty unremarkable reign with a champion people didn't like. But, I sent them kind of like the fight. He KO'd him pretty quick and like the promo beforehand, which if you don't know, Alex Pereira is Brazilian. And I don't remember which tribe he belongs to, but he belongs to a tribe. So when they do weigh ins, he comes in like his war paint, which is awesome looking. But it's just funny that UFC did a better face like overcoming, and people thought he was going to lose too. So they did the underdog face winning better than like WWE has in a long time.
okay, did they do it or did he just happen to win them?
No, he won, but I'm saying like it paid off better than like wrestling does though. Because well, I mean, if it was work, WWE would have had him lose to build more heat.
Yeah.
Looking it up, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation probably, but the Pataxo
Yeah,
tribe,
yeah.
which is an indigenous tribe. His name Poatan means stone hands in the Tupi language, though this is not the ethnic language of the Pataxo. They actually have their own language, but there's apparently not that many.
There's
Less
pictures
than
of him.
12,000.
There's pictures of him with like his UFC belt with his tribe and stuff. It's he, like I said, if you look up like Alex Pereira like war paint, you'll see him at weigh-ins and stuff. He looks cool as shit.
Yeah, and he is Brazilian, so he grew up in a favela in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So he grew up very poor, very humble.
And I also think it's interesting that they're the same company and like UFC really lets their guys embrace their culture and like WWE be like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it's like Bishop Khan and Toa Leone who roll with Ricochet right now. They did that as part of their entrance too. because they had cultural heritage stuff as part of what they did, and it looked great. Did it match? No. Does it matter? No.
No, but
WWE
it
would be
adds a,
like, "Sorry, Alex, you're not Italian. You can't wear your war paint."
yeah.
Yeah.
The only way WWE would do it was like, oh, could we put that on a T-shirt?
Yeah,
Like if they can, it's like, well, yeah, yeah. Can we
can
sell a mask?
can
Yeah,
Like
there
if
it
IRS
is.
can
I
IRS
think
tear it up and say you didn't pay the gift tax?
The phrase "Can we sell the mask?"
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
if they could
Yeah.
monetize it, they would do it. But you're as an aside, like Gates of Agony being teamed with Ricochet, I love it because I actually think those dudes have been great, and I don't say toil away, but they're another example of people who like uh, much like Swerve Strickland, they're people. It's like they got signed to a Tony Khan property, and was like, we're gonna put in the work. We're gonna show that we're like good hands, like we're loyal. We can
We'll
be
take our lumps.
versatile.
We'll take
Yeah,
our
we'll do
lumps.
whatever you want to. And those guys are getting rewarded. Like they're now obviously with a hot act and Ricochet getting used on TV. They just had a match tonight on Dynamite apparently. So I love that those guys are going to get better opportunity. Those are guys that it's like, I mean, obviously they're now into bigger things, but an underrated thing with the AEW tag division, like they need to actually utilize more tag teams.
They do.
Uh, they can't. They have an embarrassment of riches of even just tag talent. They have talent overall, but I mean they have a lot of great tag teams. It's you can't just have one tag team have a stranglehold on it. Or if you're gonna have it, like have them just be like
It's
if Rodito is gonna have the tag titles, have them go against Gates of Agony.
it.
Have them go against Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. Like have them just.
I also
You
think
can't
it
be like
shows it shows
yeah.
their booking discipline that they're essentially going towards an Adam Page Samoa Joe match, and I'm like, holy shit, they haven't like if they've done that, I don't remember, but it's just like them doing something at this point, like with their roster that feels new. It's like WWE could not like come up with something that I'd feel fresh with, and I don't even watch all
Yeah.
the time.
That's the Hangman Joe match is happening at, I think, Wrestle Dream's the next one.
Mm-hmm.
That's in a week and a half.
And I want to add
I
too,
think that's right.
with Alex Pereira is it also shows, I think, kind of the stupidity of WWE, but wrestling as a whole is like he's probably UFC's biggest star currently, and this win propelled him even higher. Doesn't speak a word of English. Like if you watch like I sent you like the pre-match interview at the weigh-ins, they had to use a translator, and it was fine.
The answer
Because
to
that
that is
charisma
so
can
what,
yeah, the charisma can come through.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
I just and like I think I think what they miss too is I mean, fighting in general, it's a universal language too. But yeah, I thought
Yeah,
it was. Oh, go ahead, Chad.
No, go on.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I don't know that like a lot of their assumptions on the way they do stuff. It's just like no, like you don't have to do that. They don't have to speak English. Um, I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of universal languages, and they don't really seem to care.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go back to WCW for a minute. La Parka didn't speak English. La Parka got over like crazy. Um, I mean, a lot of the luchadors did. You didn't ever hardly hear Rey Mysterio do promos in WCW until later on, and he was over like mad. So the idea, oh, we can't cut a promo, is to me, it's just an excuse, because there are ways to work around that. They're
Managers.
not hard. Yeah, have managers. Have Claudio. I remember hearing Claudio cut a promo where he pivoted through 3 different languages. Oh, but Claudio can't cut a promo. Whatever. It's just an excuse to not do something, buddy.
Yeah, I
Like-
agree. I agree.
Yeah. Andre was not the best promo in the world. That's why Bobby Heenan was with him. You tell me Andre didn't know what he was doing? Whatever.
I still think it's funny that Brock Lesnar's best promo ever was not in the WWE.
Oh, that one after UFC
The
100?
Bud sucks. I drink Coors, and I might climb on top of my wife after he beat
Yeah.
Frank Mir at
I'm
100.
I'm gonna drink Coors Light, not a Bud Light, because Bud won't pay me nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's such a great
yeah,
promo.
yeah. It was that was a yeah, and the people that I was watching that with were pissed
It's such a good
because they
promo,
didn't like
though.
Lesnar coming in.
I
They
know.
didn't like Lesnar coming in.
But it was such a good promo. Oh god, like that still cracks me up. WWE would have panicked if someone like went off script like that, though.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So,
yeah.
oh, kitty cat. There's a cat around my house that
Cat.
insists it lives here, and anytime I try to get the mail or something, it bum rushes the door and tries to get in.
Yeah.
And we have this conversation that it doesn't live here and it doesn't listen to me. Um, so would we say? So if we were to say who the wrestler of the year is through, we're 75% of the way there. I'd say it's Adam Page.
In America, yeah. I don't watch Lucha, but I have heard enough to know that if I did, then apparently Mystico is a shoe-in. But
Mystico
in
would probably
America,
be for drawing, I would say.
in America I would probably say Hangman myself.
I think
Like,
my
I feel
women wrestler of the year would probably be Sai or Sari again.
what are you gonna say, Matt?
for men, I would say the four people in contention. Despite what like people like the PWI, it's not going to be anyone from the WWE, like, and
No.
not even close. But I would say Hangman Adam Page, Mystico, Bandito, and
Bandito's a good choice.
Takeshita. Those are the people that are in, I would say, like the discussion.
Yeah.
I think
For
that that's a
best.
very
And you
fair.
could vary between the world or just North America, whatever you want to do. But I mean, I
Yeah.
think that I think those four are like the
Yeah,
strong
because
contenders for
I think
wrestler of the year.
I think your best choice for WWE would be Cody, just because I will give Cody credit. He got a watchable match out of John Cena, which was a miracle. But he hasn't wrestled enough this year to even be in the talk.
Yeah.
No.
Takeshita, I really like adding to that because he's been doing well in AEW and in New Japan.
Yeah.
And when I say AEW, I'm also counting Ring of Honor with that. You know, God,
Yeah,
that
he had
match
that-
that he had with Bandito.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Then I'd say women, it would be Tony Storm, Saya, and then Sari, and oh shit, there was one other person. I don't know who the other person was. So,
Mercedes.
she's a step below those people. Like she'd be in like that five. She'd be in that like 5 to 10 spot. Like I don't think she can beat Tony Storm's like Mariah May matches. And her best match is with Tony Storm, so then that kind of further erodes her argument.
Yeah. At
I
least
would-
for me, Tony Storm would be the top woman, but I don't watch Joshi, so you know that disqualifies a whole bunch.
I would make the case that if you do watch Joshi, that the Saya Kamatami Tam Nakano match, where it was Tam's retirement match essentially, was maybe the women's match of the year, just
would be-
because of everything involved. It was a good work match, but also just all the backstory and the story it told. And I hesitate to say that only because, like, you know, I kind of mock, and I feel we kind of are kind of like away from the WWE, and it's like aura, it's, you know, in moments, whatever But in terms of the overall story and the moments of that match, like it is actually the culmination of a story that was told and really put it like a just a period on Tam Nakano's career
Yeah.
and went out in it was an actual like amazing bit of storytelling that I'm like, this to me is I feel like the women's match of the year
I would say it
with
or
when
the
you factor
final
everything in.
the final curtain in it are like neck and neck for.
Yeah,
It was
the
a
Hollywood
good.
ending
It's been a good
with
year
Tony
for
Storm and Ryan
yeah
Reed.
yeah. It's been a good year for women's wrestling.
It has been, yeah.
Really strong year for that. I would actually say
Yeah.
the women have been even in like AEW. I think the women have kind of been better than the men this year, like on a show to show basis, especially on the top end.
The women in AEW have been very strong.
Yeah. I would be putting Tony Storm and Hangman on probably equal footing,
Because
but
I think my match of the year would probably be Bandito Takeshita.
Probably fair. I
Maybe
people I haven't seen it.
Fletcher Osprey Cage. I would have to look.
I haven't seen it, but the recent match for the Ring of Honor title that Bandito had with Hechicero
I haven't seen that
was
yet. I
actually
should check that
was
out.
supposedly really good. I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys saw this. I don't know if you saw this, and this kind of goes to where it's like, again, like people that in America you may not think are the star that they are. It's like in AEW, would you put the title on Hechicero? I'd be like, no, but he's awesome, but I wouldn't put the title
Yeah.
on him. But he just had like some sort of signing or meet and greet or something in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like lines down the block to meet him, and it's like that dude is a star and over, and I'd love to see that because he's a great worker.
Was
Like he has a really unique gimmick. He's interesting. He's fun. And I had no experience with him until like the Danielson match.
oh, that match is so
We had
good.
it. It's so good, and he came out, and the moment he comes out and he's doing like the flame thing, and he just like looks cool and is awesome. That it has an awesome match, and I'm like, I have no idea who this dude is. I don't know
Oh,
enough about Lucha, but like this guy's awesome.
you know what he did that I loved? It makes him so awesome. Is CMLL did a Pokemon crossover night, and he did
Yes.
he did a mask as Machamp. It was
Yes.
so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, some I think actually a luchador or somebody is like I made the costumes for that because wasn't just him, like other luchadors.
Yeah,
because
it-
it was
It was a whole show of it.
Yeah, it's a cross promotion with actual Pokemon. Pokemon is like with actual Pokemon. They did a cross branding thing where the owners of Pokemon is like, yeah, like we're gonna have you guys dress as Pokemon characters, and it was awesome. And it's like the actual costumes. The ring attire was actually well done and fantastic, and yeah,
Yeah.
he was Machamp.
It
He
looks
looked
so
awesome.
I know. And they weren't. They
Like-
didn't pull a AAA and get a partnership with Disney and have Chessmen and Pagano like totally traumatize everyone in the main event.
Yeah,
Yeah. I tried to get my kids. I showed them pictures of them, and I'm like, look, it's the wrestlers are doing Pokemon stuff. Oh, that's cool. I can find the show. No, I'm good. I was like,
yeah.
you little.
I would say that's a cool idea though. Like I'm glad they did that, and he looked awesome.
Yeah.
Was the Bandito match, was that on a pay per view or was that on like their TV show?
No, no, it was. I think it was on a pay per view.
Okay.
It was on
Bandito
the Thursday.
Hechicero. It
Yeah.
was on
Yeah, it
one
was-
of the big one of the named Ring of Honor shows.
Okay, I'll have to track that
Yeah,
down.
it was like their last Ring of Honor pay per view because they only do those like quarterly, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bandito might be crawling up that list.
I mean, he's in the contention. Like the four guys I mentioned, I feel are probably in the discussion for best of of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to talk about drawing, it's if you're just going based on drawing, probably Mystico. Because
Yeah.
CML are doing crazy numbers every week.
That's why
And Dave Meltzer
WWE.
talked about that.
That's why WWE freaked out and bought AAA's because the CMLL Friday show is destroying SmackDown on drawing, and I think they're probably
Oh
even
yeah.
outdrawing like Raw and stuff. Like they are doing crazy numbers,
Yeah.
like absolutely crazy.
And Dave Meltzer's talked about this a lot, and he's also talked about how like CMLL, because they do obviously they do mainly big shows Tuesdays and Fridays, and Dave Meltzer's talked about this. It's like yeah, they actually draw a tourist, but it's like they're consistently doing like 10,000 people like every Tuesday night, every Friday night,
Yeah.
and it's like look, people go and do tourist stuff in Mexico. You're not pulling.
You're
It's
not
not
pulling
10,000 people.
24,000 people a week.
Yeah, you're not pulling. Yeah, exactly. You're not pulling 24,000 of those people coming to the shows are all tourists.
Like
Like it's
tourists
not. Like maybe.
might mean the difference
Yeah.
between 20,000 a week and 24,000 a week at best. But most weeks it
Yes.
probably means the difference between like it's probably like an extra between 1,000 and 2,000 people a week on tourists.
Yeah. It's a hot. It's a hot promotion. Like it really.
Yeah.
It's probably promotion of the year. If
Oh
you
no,
want
it
to
is.
actually talk
It
about
is.
like running away with it in terms of actually like booking and doing well in terms of like drawing
If it's not
people.
if it's not promotion,
Observer people may put WWE just because record profits, whatever. It's like yeah,
it's
but it's
not.
shit.
CMLL I think won it. Well, I'm trying to remember my awards. I think I gave it to them in 2023, and then I gave it to Stardom last year. But CMLL is going to win my promotion of the year this year. Like, there's just no argument. Like, you can't. Like, I think AEW's had a solid year, and they've rebounded nice this year. But like CMLL is just on a different level of it from everyone.
Well, and also
Like you watch the shows, like it's hot. Like I think the hottest AEW crowd this year was Arena Mexico.
Well,
maybe. I mean, we're all in
y'all in.
Texas.
Yeah.
Y'all in. Yeah.
I would have gone with y'all in.
By the way, just to touch on that with WWE, like Raw just I guess Netflix just announced that Raw they matched its record low numbers.
Ooh.
Oh no.
It's
Ooh.
yeah, it people look, I will be surprised if we're almost a year in. So 4 years from now, when Netflix can either continue the deal or not, like I would not be surprised if they're like, no, we're good, thanks.
I think it'll depend on
How are you gonna how are they rebounding? Like they're not. I
Yeah.
don't see them rebounding.
because there's a lot of issues with it. I think where their big mistake is they left TV entirely. They should have done what AEW does, because this isn't a unique issue to them. Like the NBA and like the other sports leagues that have like gone to streaming really struggle with streaming, because I think it takes the urgency away from it. And I will say, this is one thing I don't think is WWE's fault, but Netflix redid their UI and it's terrible now, which I think hurt their ratings a little bit.
It's bad. I don't think I'm as down on it as you are, but it's still bad because my wife, like taking it inside my wife and I's world, my wife doesn't like horror movies. I love horror movies. And we have 2 small kids, so it's not as we have all this time to be watching movies. Only time we have to watch them maybe the weekend, if we're even like
Conscious.
awake enough. Yeah, awake enough and not tired. We can contemplate watching a movie is like Friday night, Saturday night, maybe. But we have this tradition where we like to watch horror movies like around Halloween time. And we started watching, we've only seen one so far. Now we're in October, so we gotta step up the game. But we try to watch horror movies. So we've been like looking around all the various streaming platforms, like who has what movies available, like what can we watch, whatever. And we went on Netflix to be like, what horror movies does Netflix have? And it is a fucking chore to even be like, it's like Netflix, can I just go and like search by genre? And it's like, no, you can't do
No.
that. Like, you can't do that. Like, here's a bunch of, it's like, I just want to fucking search by genre.
Now
Impossible.
when you
Impossible.
go to
The user interface is garbage.
when you go to look by genre, you just get the gif of Ron Killings going, "Fuck you, got your money," as he dances away.
Yeah, it's like, how hard is this? Even shittier like services like Amazon Prime, which is like bare bones. I can search by genre.
Yeah.
I can search by genre. You know what? Now that I think about it, though, you know actually what is like a shittier UI is like Apple TV.
Oh, Apple's is
Shittier.
terrible.
It's fucking terrible. Like I still have it
Like,
because I love shows like Severance, but it's like I'm also like, why am I paying?
well,
It's
you know
like
what? You know what's amazing about the Apple TV UI is there's like nothing on the platform, and you still can't find shit when there's nothing on there to begin with. Like you still can't find
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Again, Amazon Prime, Jeff Bezos, second most wealthy man on the planet besides Elon Musk. And it's like, you can't pay money to make your UI like better for the Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but I will say though, I will say,
The
Amazon
Killings
TV
gif
app.
again. Yeah.
but I will at least say,
but at the same time, easier to search by genre.
But
at least they let me search by genre.
but the other thing
I
with
can be
Prime,
like-
but the other thing with Prime though is if you go on Prime on a Thursday, the NFL game is right there in your face saying, "Hey, NFL's on here tonight." When AEW has a pay-per-view, it's like, "Hey, you want to buy this pay-per-view?" When I go on Netflix, I never see Raw. I mean, I know I haven't watched like wrestling on there, so like it's not in my algorithm, but it doesn't push it to me at all. Like I might stumble across it here and there, but like you have to go looking for it. And I've never gone on day of, but I can't imagine it's like front and center day of.
I can't imagine why there are so many different pieces of software that they do updates
And
to
it never
make them
gets
less
better.
user friendly. They just keep consistently making them worse. Like if I'm gonna come up with one that has made changes but not made things worse, like Discord has added stuff, but they haven't tanked their UI. You know, everything's still basically in the same place.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that going back to 2010 things are more user friendly.
That blows my mind. I am seriously just so you remember when we used Skype and Skype got worse and worse and worse as time went by. It's like why?
Like
Why is that the case?
Like I don't even read articles on news sites anymore because half the time I can't. Well, if you're not like your ad block's not like knocking you out or they don't want like you to subscribe to finish reading it, then half the time you can't even figure out how to read the rest of the article because it's hidden behind all the ads and like there was some article I was reading that I realized the whole article was there and it got split by all the recommendations to click on other things and ads and stuff and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or the other thing I hate now is when I'm playing a video game and I need to figure something out or where to get something. And then I Google it and it just brings up YouTube videos. And I'm like, can you just fucking give me an article where I can find it in 5 seconds versus making me watch a 3-minute YouTube video?
No, they'll throw a garbage AI summary at the top though.
Yeah.
And I call it garbage because they're wrong a lot. The CEO of Walmart came out and said, you know, hey, we're gonna start using AI to change everybody's jobs, and folks were pissed. And then someone pointed out, they're like, this guy does this all the time. He goes out and says stuff like this because it gooses stock prices, and then doesn't ever do it. It's like,
That's because
okay.
That's because AI sucks. Like for all the people that get they're like, oh, AI is gonna take your job and all that stuff. It's like no. Like I've worked at a company that's had it for about 8 years now, and they've even backed off using it because even for simple shit like paying bills instead of a human, you still need a person to babysit it, and it still doesn't do as good as a human.
Yeah. You have to have someone go through and fix everything, and it makes more mistakes.
And even if it's hardwired not to do something, they'll still do it. Because, like, I trained someone, and they were like, they would get pissed off at me because they're like, why is it doing this? I'm like, I don't know. It's literally not allowed to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's
And it's not like there's a level of like human chaos that it can't do, and even like the self-driving cars, they were blaming people for that originally with self-driving cars when they'd have accidents, and they figured out like, oh no, like that was the car's fault.
Well, because it's easy to manipulate the car. If you jump out in front of, you can do all kinds of stuff to cause it to just stop dead, things like that. But this AI push is it. I'm waiting for it to roll over and die like NFTs did. There's what 2 years that NFTs were everything everywhere, and then they rolled over and died because everybody's like, well, this is stupid horse shit.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on that for AI because it's not AI. They're LLM. They're language learning models. Is what they really are.
Because even if you pulled
And
up
they just
even if you pulled up ChatGPT and asked it who won the last 5 World Series, it'll probably give you a wrong answer. There's like
Yeah.
a better than zero chance it'll give you a wrong answer. And like, because I use it for some reference stuff. It's good to get like a baseline for like if you're playing a game or something, just to get a quick answer and then double check it. But like even stuff like wrestling, like I've asked it like something, it'll get it wrong. Like if someone was signed to WWE, it's like, well, that's not right, and it'll be like, oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
they were actually signed till blah blah blah, and give you the right answer, and it's just
Yeah, you have to call it out. Look, I'm convinced this whole thing started from having that whatever the Watson one on Jeopardy. And the reason that it won is because it could Google answers fast.
it's the same
Okay.
reason people hype them up because it's better than people at chess, but chess is a solved game where there is an
Yeah.
optimal move in every situation and there's no room for creativity.
Well, one of the chess wins for Deep Blue was because it made a move, and who was it playing? Kasparov
Yeah.
looked at it and was like, "There is no way that it made that basic of a mistake." As it turns out, it did, and it threw the whole thing off. Um,
Yeah, chess
I'm
is
just
a
saying,
bad chess is a bad chess is a bad example because there's no creativity to chess. There's an optimal move at every time. So yes, an AI is going to be really good at chess because
yeah,
it's just playing percentiles. But like if you like honestly, if you're watching this and you haven't, download ChatGPT and interact with it. And I bet you within 10 answers you'll find something wrong that you know is wrong.
okay. So the AI whatever thing that Google has, the AI summary search thing. Someone showed me this once. They went, "Here, check this out," and they shared their screen with me, and they just Googled recipe for whatever, and they opened the summary, and one of the ingredients in the summary for making this cake that he looked for was broken glass. It's like you've got to be you've got to be kidding me.
That's hilarious.
And it it just needs to die because everyone wants to use it because they think it's going to cut. You be able to automate a bunch of stuff, and guess what? It can't. It
Yeah, you
just
can't.
can't. It is a language learning model. It is not actually intelligent. It just aggregates what it can get access to.
Well, it's actually hilarious because I like law YouTubers, and one of the funny side effects of AI is there's lawyers that are in like actual trials that have used Chat GPT for their filings and stuff. And the thing with Chat GPT is it'll just make cases up like completely because it
Yeah.
biases itself. But so it's funny they changed Chat GPT like a month ago to be less groveling and agreeable. Like they kind of gave it like
Yeah.
some more, and people on Reddit lost their mind
Yeah.
because their echo chamber was getting taken away. But yeah, so it does it biases itself to what you want, and
Yeah.
so when you do that in a law sense, it'll just make cases up to agree with you. So I think like it's quite a few lawyers though I think have gotten caught and disbarred over it the last year.
Yeah. Um, it's bad. And also, yeah, it's also like my sister-in-law was a college professor. She got out of it because she would catch students turning in, Chat GPT stuff. No, I'm not. And she's like, check this out. I took your thing. I asked Chat GPT, did you make it? Chat GPT was like, oh yeah, I totally made this. They're not putting any actual thought into doing it. Like,
It's like I said,
there is a skill. It is a skill to be able to know where to look up and find things, not just go, here, give me thing, because you've got to have enough critical thought to look at and assess what your source is and find out if it's worth a shit.
Like I use it for stuff like if I'm playing a game, I'll be like, hey, Chat GPT, where do I go to farm this item? And then it'll tell me, and then I'll go check it on Google and see like, hey, do you find this item here? Or I'll say like, hey, can you, like, here's my build and my party in this mobile game, like, just rate how it is.
Yeah.
Like but that's a very niche use, and like I still double check things, but that's a very niche use for it. And I think that's also where it makes sense because it's low stakes and it's just like, oh, I'm playing a game, like, hey, Chat GPT, tell me where I need to go to get this thing.
Yeah. It is. South Park really, really nailed the problem with it because they had an episode where the kids in class started using Chat GPT for their class papers, and they were these long papers on super obscure subjects. Like, it's like, oh, when Butters wrote this report on the economic failings of the Weimar Republic, look at that. And so Garrison takes these homes. He goes, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these. And his partner goes, yeah, so those might have something to do with Chat GPT. So Garrison started using Chat GPT to grade the papers written by Chat GPT. It's like, yeah, that's part of the problem.
The other big problem I have now, and I see it on Caleb Hammer because he hates them, and it's hilarious how much he hates them, but have you seen those stupid, like, Labubu things?
I've heard about them.
My wife has one because her sister gave her one. There's Labubus and there's like Lafufus or something.
What's
like
a
they're the
Lafufu?
knockoff Labubus.
Oh, okay.
It's like the knockoff Labubus. It's like the bootleg ones.
They remind me
and
of
there's actually ways to tell which ones because I guess Labubus have like X number of teeth. So it's like if they have like it's like if Labubus have like 13 teeth or something. So it's like if it has more than 13, then it's a fake. And it's like, okay, how would I know? Like I'm gonna sit there and count. But we went to the beach for 4th of July, Virginia Beach, and people were selling them, and it's like, well, this is knockoff because you're selling it at a fucking convenience store. So
and like resellers are selling them for like $50. So.
They're probably worth more, like some of them. But it's by this company that I don't know if it's Japanese or just based in like
Chinese. I think.
Maybe it's based in Asia, but they have some here because I've seen them in the mall, like in the local mall. Pop Mart is the name of the company.
Yeah.
But you can buy them from like when I saw them in the mall, it was literally like it was a giant ass like coin operated machine, like
a gotcha machine.
Yeah, but I mean it's like literally it's like a vending machine, but like it's Pop Mart, and they sell many different products, but all of the boo-boos were like gone. So people are just like as soon as they like stock the vending machine, I think people just like rush in.
Yeah, they do that to the Pokemon machines.
Point is, they've become really popular.
They do that to the Pokemon vending machines. They'll stock it, and you get some fucking jackass 40-year-old buying everything so they can resell it because, why would a kid want to play with fucking Pokemon cards? Okay, sorry. I'm just pisses me off.
I'm with you. It's
But yeah, you know what they remind me of? The book Where the Wild Things Are? That's what it reminds me of.
That's what they look like, yeah. They do look like that.
It's the same style. Caleb Hammer hates them, though. they anger him so much and it cracks me up. But it's always these women that spent like $3,000 on them.
It's
Well, that's
just
probably
new
why he
Beanie
hates them.
Babies. It's new Beanie
Yeah.
Babies.
Yeah.
It's people who have like $80,000 in debt, but it's like, but I had to spend like $2,000 on a Labubu. It was my
Yeah.
birthday month,
Y-
and he's just
Oh,
like,
the
he
birthday.
pulls his hair out.
The
No.
birthday month upsets me so much. But you know what I don't get about that is these people that are like $60,000 in debt and they've like defaulted, they've gone bankrupt, and credit card companies are still fucking giving them money and they're still finding new ways to get like
Guess it's just about-
consolidation loans and stuff. And I'm like,
that's the
oh
dark
my God.
side. The dark side of capitalism. But I do love it when they because I've seen some of his videos, and it is more than once. And people are like, he'll go through the numbers and be like, you're like $80,000 in debt. Like what is this charge for like $3,000? And it's like the woman. It's usually a woman. Not that women are worse than men. Like
No,
people
the men
bad-
get it. The
bad
men
decisions
get
left
it.
and right.
The men get it just as
Yeah.
bad when they're on there.
But women are usually the ones who'll be like, he'll be like, what is this $3,000 charge? She'll be like, well, it's my birthday month. Like, of course it's like, yeah, he'll be like throwing his hands up. It's like, what do you mean you're $80,000 in debt?
Yeah.
Why'd you add like $3,000 for your birthday month?
I laugh every time he calls someone a tit. That's like he calls them. He's like either like you tit or he's like you creature, you absolute creature. When he
I had
goes,
to spend $5,000 on Disney. It's like, why? It's like,
it's like
birthday month.
usually when it's a guy, it's like you spent $3,000 on gooning. Like it's a good show. You should watch Caleb Hammer if you want to see someone have an aneurysm over bad finances.
Honest to God, I just can't take anymore right now. Like, if I was in a better place, then sure. But right now, I just can't take any more of that.
There's this one. It was a bigger girl, but he's fat too, and they had this like fat moment where he's talking to her about McDonald's, and you can just hear like the loving sigh in his voice, like, "Oh, you get a Big Mac." It just like it was one of those conversations, and it was just funny. But yeah, I highly recommend if you can take someone being yelled at, and he's funny about it, and people get all upset about it, but like they all agree to it. Most of them are fans now. Like they know they're gonna get yelled at, and he's nice to people when they deserve it. But yeah, they get like on board and all that stuff. So people get real upset about him yelling at people, and it's like no,
it's almost the equivalent of like when he did like Kitchen Nightmares, whatever, of Gordon Ramsay. Like
yeah.
he'd go on the TV, like yell at people, "You donkey!" or like whatever, like tell him about how like the restaurant is shit, like it's gonna fail.
What are
like that.
you?
And
when he put the bread
yeah,
on the woman's head, like, what are you?
Yeah,
An idiot sandwich?
yeah. Well, that's Kitchen Confidential. Whatever. But when he actually was like going to restaurants,
Yeah.
and like trashing them, outside of like one or two rare exceptions, most of the time, like the people, if they talked about it like behind the scenes, whatever, like that. People who interact with them would be like, "Oh no, he's actually really nice. Like he just like he will yell at everything, but like when he's off, when the camera's off, like that, he's actually super nice and like really kind and funny and pleasant." So it's not that it's an act, but it's kind of an act. So yeah, that's the same with Caleb Hammer. It's like, look, my show is like I'm gonna rip you guys apart for your stupid financial decisions, but he's not a bad guy. So
There's one guy. Oh, what did he buy? He bought a gold mine in Uganda. And I was like, oh no, like, oh no. And he was sure this was gonna work, but he said Uganda. I'm like, oh no, dude, you got scammed so hard.
I was sure this is gonna work. That's basically.
But like
You can't buy a gold mine with iTunes gift cards.
But like that was my reaction. Like, oh no, dude, like no, why did you do that? But I think
yeah.
I know. But yeah, that's what I would for another YouTube channel. I'll recommend that for this week. So I think that is it for this week, unless you guys have anything you want to discuss.
No.
It's been a dry like 2 or 3 months for news. Like it's shockingly been dry for much of anything. Because usually I feel every other every other year we've done the show, like it's actually hard to stay on topic sometimes because we're always chomping at the bit to talk about something going on in like the actual wrestling world. And like I feel like it's been since I don't know, All In Texas, like it's just been kind of like, there's really nothing going on.
Yeah. Well, in Texas went really well, and then it's like either that or a lot of the stuff that we would talk about has gotten old hat to the point where it's just like,
Yeah.
oh look, WWE had they had a pocket full of talking points to badmouth somebody who left them again or something. It's
Yeah.
like, oh good, we're doing this again.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that is it for this week, everyone. Thank you for joining us as always. This is Matt, Shad, and Brad. We've been in 3 corners, and you've been in the 4th, and we will catch you next time.